Today, we are here with our final thoughts on Nintendo Switch 2. I cannot believe it's finally happening.
This is the final episode of the Kit and Krysta podcast.
From this launch.
Until we get a Switch 2.
Can you believe it?
There's a buzz in the air.
Yes.
A feeling of anticipation.
Oh, man.
Something is about to happen.
Yeah.
That's amazing stuff. We've been on this road for so long.
I know. It feels long and short at the same time, which is one of those weird things that can happen.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had this feeling like, gosh, like if there's anything we want to say about this thing before it comes out, we better do it now.
It's like a wedding. Speak now.
Oh my gosh.
Or forever hold your peace. And then your like crazy uncle stands up and he's like, well, sugar, you should have
No.
But yes, it's true. It's like, this is it. We want to kind of catch up on any other little news tidbits.
Yes.
I love the word tidbits.
News nugs.
News nugs.
That was a popular phrase at Nintendo.
Juicy news nugs.
Tender news nugs.
Tender vittles of news nugs.
Yeah.
Yum. We want to catch up on anything that's like kind of left and lingering that has been kind of out there percolating.
Big picture questions.
Big picture
final
questions.
thoughts. Existential crises. We're all having this.
Oh my gosh. I've been on like 3 existential crises.
I don't know why.
I have to plural crises.
You're on a bit of shaky ground this morning, I can tell.
I'm on some shaky ground for the last like week and a half.
Really?
It's been like a little shaky for me. I don't know why. I know why. But anyways, so yes, that's what we're going to do today. We do have some great videos on the channel.
Oh, really?
One of the reasons why I'm on shaky ground is because we've been doing so much work.
Around the clock.
There was a great moment in our Discord with our wonderful Patreon community where someone listed, one of our wonderful superstars, Simon, listed all of the things that we had put out on the channel in a single week.
In a week, yes.
And I literally stunned, looked at that list and was like, wait, how did we do this? There's 2 people here.
It's a lot.
Literally 2 people. But that just means there's lots of cool stuff.
Things happening.
On the channel, things are happening. We do have a video about the great Mario 7 Nintendo story.
Mario 7?
Kart. Sorry.
Huh?
This is again. Bear with me, please. Brain is slowly addling. In the course of this podcast, who knows what will happen.
Physical damage, emotional damage, mental damage. You've sustained it all.
I'm just going to like melt into some sort of puddle.
I'll cover this. Mario Kart 7. We're talking about an amazing thing that you did back in 2011.
Yes.
Bringing the karts of Mario Kart 7 to life.
IRL.
Wow. That's going to be coming up soon. The return of Nintendo Stories Time. So big we couldn't even put it in a podcast.
It was too long.
We thought about putting that in last week's podcast. We're like, wait, this will be 3 hours long.
No, it's going to be
and
like 4 hours long.
our brain will be turning to jello. We won't be doing that.
Our brains are already jello, clearly.
No. Yours not mine.
Mine is clearly jello.
We also have, look, it's Mario Kart Mayhem, as you would say.
Mayhem.
As you would say, because we're in the month of May. Get it? Haha. We have 2 great gameplay videos up on Patreon, exclusive to Patreon. We're playing Super Mario Kart. That one's out now. Coming soon, Mario Kart Double Dash. You're the GameCube kid around here.
Yeah.
You chose to play that. We played it. We had some interesting experiences.
We laughed, we cried.
That.
It was great.
We yelled at each other.
It was fun. Admit that it was fun right now. Admit it. Admit it.
Parts of it were fun.
You were having fun. I saw your face.
Parts of it. Parts of it.
This is the best.
I love this.
Ever.
Parts of it were fun.
You had fun.
Yeah.
I saw you. You were having fun.
Well, like I told you, I admit it. I have not played a ton of Mario Kart Double Dash in comparison to other Mario Kart games.
Shocking.
Again, for whatever something was happening around that GameCube generation.
Your friends sucked.
Where I was playing other stuff, and my friends were into other things.
Your friends were not nice.
My friends were not nice.
I'm mad at your friends. Who are they?
Are you nice?
Well, I wasn't there.
You're talking to me very sternly right now.
If I was there, I'd play Mario Kart Double Dash with you.
I'm not sure you're very nice either. I need to get some new, nicer friends, I guess.
You need to get new friends.
Maybe any friends at all. Maybe that would be a start.
Oh, ouch. Well, this took a very dark turn, which is great because the next thing that we have on the channel for...
Speaking of emotional damage.
Speaking of this is what happened to me. This is exactly why I've been...
Oh, this is why. Okay. This is why. This is where it started.
This is where it started.
I get it.
In a beautiful but tragic way. We finished playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and did our big spoiler cast. Our longest, biggest spoiler cast to date. Over 2.5 hours of emotional damage.
We broke through the 2-hour ceiling.
Because we cried.
On this podcast, yes.
This game was actually like just the most amazing game ever. You know, like we both absolutely loved this, and we needed to have a cathartic release of a spoiler cast to work through the emotions of this game. And yes, it was amazing to be able to do that in a spoiler cast, but also it really, like, once you start talking about it, like the floodgates kind of open, you know, and then you like think about all sorts of crazy things and your brain goes nuts, and then well, mine at least did, and then I became a broken person. But anyways, if you want to listen to the spoiler cast, you should, because it's awesome. Great.
That's also exclusive to Patreon. All that stuff. You can also just get it off the Patreon shop or patreon.com/KitandKrysta. Check it out.
Yep.
We set that spoiler cast to the soundtrack of the game.
Yes.
Because there's so much music for this game.
And music is so incredible,
2.5 hours of music playing lightly in the background to accentuate
the tears.
The very poignant, powerful things that were being said about this game.
If you had said to a very like young me, like a child me playing like, you know, an SNES game back in the day when we first started playing video games, that in the future games would come out and make you like think about life and facilitate all of these deep conversations with your friend and have that kind of effect, you know, like I would not have believed it, honestly.
Well, some could argue that was happening in the 90s, but okay.
I mean, I was too young to...
yes.
I was like 6.
It's a you, not me.
I don't think I could have an existential crisis as a 6-year-old. Maybe I could have.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. You're just a GameCube kid.
I don't know.
That's it.
I was just playing Double Dash with a friend.
You're Zygote playing Double Dash.
I was playing Double Dash. I don't know.
I don't have a clue what's going on.
I didn't have a crisis.
No thoughts, just vibes. That's what it was.
True.
Yes. And to this day,
now there's too many
there might be a lack of thoughts.
Not enough. Now see what happens when I think too much. Things get a little shaky.
Yeah, okay. Let's put an end to that.
Let's put an end to that. Back to the vibes. Back to the vibes, guys.
All right, enough of that. Let's get into our big discussion for today, which is our Switch 2 final thoughts.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So yes, the way we're going to do this, we're going to start by doing a little roundup, because there's so many
bits and pieces.
Not groundbreaking things, but interesting things,
That's why it's called tidbits.
Worthwhile things, tidbits, and news nugs. That's what we're calling this segment. And then we're going to get into some bigger picture questions and our final thoughts on the system.
Yes.
So let's pick a nug. Pick a tidbit.
Well, yeah, let's start with this Koei Tecmo nug about Nobunaga's ambition.
So when we did
the mouse controls.
When we did our third-party preview video, we noted there were a lot of games that said they were supporting the Switch 2 mouse.
Yes.
But they had no information of how they were doing it.
Right.
Which was a bit frustrating and disappointing. They heard us, clearly, and Koei Tecmo put out this great video of the developers playing Nobunaga's Ambition, and they showed off, like, yeah, you can use it with the Joy-Con mouse, but get a load of this. You can also just plug in a USB mouse and play it that way. Now you have said you're concerned about the ergonomics of a Joy-Con.
It's a little skinny.
Does this feel better for you?
Well, I'm feeling two ways about this. On the one hand, it's like, oh, that's really cool. I mean, and it's a little obvious as well. It's like, well, no duh. If you can use it with one mouse, why can't you use it with other...
Because they disable certain accessories that they don't want you to use?
Sure.
This is not a PC.
Sure, yeah. So it is nice that you have the option of using all different kinds of mouse, I suppose. But on the other hand, it makes the Joy-Con mouse less special because it's like, well, now, you know, it's not on the system. You can just kind of treat it like a PC.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
It's built in. It's right there. You have one. You don't have to.
I mean, you probably have a USB mouse too.
Get one and plug it in.
You have a mouse at home.
Do you?
Yes.
That you can plug into this?
Yes.
You have a USB mouse?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't?
I don't have a USB mouse.
Oh.
No.
That's weird.
I'm laptopping like a modern individual.
I have a PC. And I use it to edit.
Great.
A USB mouse.
Good for you.
Anyhow, so it's like, okay, well, obviously you can do this. No duh. It works like a normal mouse, but also like, oh, it's a little less special if it's like just any mouse could work, you know?
But you were worried about the ergonomics, and now you found a way to be disappointed.
Yes.
You got what you wanted, and you found out, wow, incredible.
I actually didn't mind the mouse when we used it during the Square Enix games.
I thought it was surprisingly fine, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, so
I was less worried about ergonomics after that. Because I could play it like on any surface, and I was very relaxed on that couch.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a nice option, though, if people do have like an issue with the ergonomics, or if it's for a game that you're going to be playing for a super long time. I don't know how that's going to feel.
Let's be real, though. I have low hopes that I'll be using the mouse like that much.
Shooters?
Don't play that many shooters.
Splatoon?
Don't really play that much.
Splatoon 4?
Don't really play that much Splatoon.
Mario Maker? Mario Maker 3?
Maybe.
All right. Mario Paint? HD? HD? Maybe.
Maybe.
Speaking of the mouse, we got a lot of stuff from our boy Stealth here, who's been doing, as Reggie would put it, the yeoman's work of telling us about literally everything that's happening.
Great.
Literally everything.
Someone has to do it.
Literally everything that's being posted to Nintendo today.
Oh, wait.
Until they saw what Stealth was doing, and they had to shut it down.
They're so brutal. Oh my god, that is like next level brutality.
Now you know how it feels, Stealth. They put out this because people were asking about the mouse. Like, on a PC, you can control the sensitivity of the mouse. Can you do that on a Switch too? Yeah, you can.
High,
Look
medium,
at this.
low.
We got high, medium, and low. So that's
not
good.
like a scaly thing, but you could pick three options. I guess.
I think 3 is enough.
Yeah.
So that's good to know that there's some kind of next level control over what your mouse is doing.
Yes.
Okay, enough with the mouse. On to our next tidbit. Doug Bowser. IGN did something sneaky with Doug Bowser.
They were gonna do it.
They were interviewing him at the Nintendo San Francisco store.
Yeah.
And they found a sneaky way to ask him, because when they do these interviews, it's always PR tells you, this is what you are here to talk about.
Right.
Do not stray beyond these boundaries.
Touch.
Or you might get interrupted. Oh, God forbid I get interrupted. Oh, no. Or you might
the
get
PR person is standing right there. We used to do this. We used to have to be the
Eddie
people.
Garcia would throw his body in front of the interview. No! I'm going to save Doug Bowser.
Yes. That's the PR person's job, really.
But they found a way. So, you know what you're going to sell at a retail store? Game key cards. And
physical things.
Yes. And so
physical pieces of plastic.
You got me there, IGN. So they asked Doug Bowser about Nintendo's intentions for future games. Are you ever going to use a game key card? And here's what he said. In the immediate future, physical games are still a key part of our business, and we value our relationships, in particular with our retailers, and we want to make sure we have products available for them to sell to their consumers.
That did not answer the question, though.
I think later on in this interview, he said they're not doing game key cards. But this in the immediate future
is dangerous.
That's
well, I can see
a great big asterisk.
I can see that they just don't want to commit to something that they can't uncommit to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're just giving themselves an out just in case.
Right.
I do think that they are probably sticking with not doing game key cards for a good while. But in the event that they decide to one day do this in the future, in the far-flung future, maybe not the immediate future, I think they're just trying to make sure that they have kind of a, some sort of outward. Someone's not going to dig up this interview. But you said, Doug Bowser.
Right, exactly.
You said.
Exactly.
This is what PR people do. You never commit to anything. You always give yourself an out. Because you know that these things will be dug back up again. That sounded weird because it's about Doug. And it's Doug. Anyways.
Doug on Doug.
Doug on Doug. Back up again if in the event you change your mind. But yeah, it is interesting the way that he phrased this, though, because it's like we could do all of these things that he says in this quote. Like we could have physical games still remain a key part of our business. We could still have good relationships with retailers. We could still make sure we have products available to sell to a consumer if the game was on a game key card. So,
they know their customers better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And I think they understand the value of that retail experience. And we're going to find out soon enough about the result of this whole game key card controversy, of whether it's going to be an issue for most people, or is it
just complaining?
Is it more of a niche issue from fans who are really dedicated to the traditional physical game? We're going to find out soon.
Yes, the numbers won't lie.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to find out.
It could be another situation where it's like the Pokemon thing, where it's like we're going to complain, but we're still going to buy it anyway, even if it's on a game key card.
Yeah, yeah. But it's very interesting that the game key cards are the thing that has not really quieted down in terms of the volume of the outcry, and then there's always more and more games that are getting revealed and announced, and when they're on a game key card, it's like shot to the heart. Oh, not that.
Yeah, it's like almost like a death strike against
that
thing.
Right.
And I'm sure all of the Nintendo reporting, when they do that sentiment map of like what is the thing that's on the negative side, it is the game key card stuff. So yeah.
What's your take on will it matter or not?
I don't think it's going to matter.
I kind of don't think it will either, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is where, again, these people don't, people try to stand up to big corporations and do the thing, but sorry. They always win out at the end because there's just not enough people.
Yeah, I mean, most people are not, who are not us, who are not recording a video game podcast or even listening to a video game podcast or even have a clue what a podcast is.
Or what a video game is.
They just get the thing that's in front of them. And frankly, like all the other media that they consume has gone all digital and they've kind of just moved on with that reality. It's like the same thing happens in all of those other things. There's still the people out there who are like, I need a Blu-ray, I'm buying a vinyl, I'm still out there people buying cassette tapes for some reason. Like that's making a comeback. Like
CDs too.
There's always going to be that niche audience who wants that, but for the mainstream person, they're like, yeah, whatever. This is
convenience.
How
win out.
This is how I get it, and I'm more focused on the game than the format of it, and that will be fine for me.
Right.
So, yeah, I unfortunately don't think that these are going away. But again, there probably will be. I saw an interview this morning with the head of Marvelous, and obviously Rune Factory is one of those games that's fully on there. And he's like, yeah, we have noticed that people have said, like, we're going to get this. This pushed me over the hump. So I do think there will be some smart publishers out there who, for certain games, will be like, yes, we need to be on this because we don't need... This is a fan-oriented game. We can't have this backlash.
Exactly.
This is not for the mainstream audience out there.
This is where they can have an option to make some smart strategic decisions on, like, if this is the type of game that has this very, like, fan audience or an audience that's been dedicated to this game for many years, like, this is a way for them to sell the game to them.
Yes. Next tidbit. On the Nintendo Switch, you can, you do your screen recordings.
Yes.
And those are up to 30 seconds long. On the Switch 2, they will also be 30 seconds long.
Yes, I
Is this too short? I think on the PS5, it's like really long.
Hours.
It's super long if you want to do it.
I've accidentally recorded hours before. Yeah.
How did you do that?
I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, no.
Well, what you can do is once you hit the button on the PS5, it says, like, would you like to save your last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. Switch. We were laughing a little bit about this whole Nintendo Today not allowing you to take a screenshot or record your screen. Like, they really just don't want you to, for some reason, take things off the device. And they make it kind of hard for you to do that, even though you're trying to share your own...
excitement,
your own gameplay or your
cool
own excitement or
a
cool moment for you, which is what we normally do, I think, with these screen recordings or the screenshots that you capture on your Switch. It's like, no, they're going to control that experience for you. They're going to limit that in some way where you can do it, but in a way where Nintendo is very, like, do it the certain way, But
I think they're also thinking of, like, well, what is the intention of these short recordings anyway? And it's for you to share a clip on social. So, like, do you really need more? What are the cases where you need more than 30 seconds? Like, if you need 10 minutes, get your Elgato out and do it that way. If that's what you need, honestly, like what Sony offers, and in some ways it's a little overkill,
over the top,
in a lot of places.
I don't use the 1 hour. Like, it's not like I'm like yes, every single time I play the game, I'm going to record the last hour.
Right. Like I'm not sure what the utility of an hour of on-device recorded video is. Totally. Like if I really needed that for something, I would use a proper recording device to ensure the quality and all of that comes through.
Totally.
So I'm not too worried about this. Next. the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment Creator's Voice video has come out, and they seem to be targeting 60 frames per second for this game, which is a big step up.
Very ambitious.
A huge step up from the last Hyrule Warriors game.
That's great.
They said specifically they want to achieve a higher frame rate than Age of Calamity, and they did have a clip of that game that looked like it was running 60. We don't know exactly. They haven't confirmed exactly, but it's looking pretty close to 60. So that's a very positive update.
I'm so excited about this game. This is probably my most hyped game right now. Yes.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I'm...
More than Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit more than Donkey Kong. I just don't know much about Donkey Kong yet. But this one, I'm like, yes, I really want to play this game. This sounds so cool, and it's like awesome that it's going to run really well this time. These games really have to run well, or else it's just very impossible to play, obviously. And I was just thinking about how annoyed I was playing Tears of the Kingdom, hearing about the imprisonment. What is it? The imprisoning war over and over and over again, but not getting any details about it. Like every single time you go anywhere, be like, and then the imprisoning war happened. You're like, and then? But then they would just tell you the surface level of the imprisoning war over and over again. It's like, finally, we know about the imprisoning war, the details, the juicy details.
I mean, there's a rich history of Hyrule Warriors games running like doo-doo. Like, remember the 3DS?
Oh, it was horrible. That's what I'm saying.
That was rough.
Like, well, the story for these games are really good. Like, Age of Calamity ran okay. Like, there were some moments where I was like, come on.
Yeah.
But the focus on having it run great and have hopefully a great story about the imprisoning war sounds awesome.
That would be a smart little warm-up marketing, as what they used to call it there.
Yeah. Release a Switch 2 edition of Calamity.
Not even a Switch, just a straight performance boost for the original one, just to get people back. I'm like, oh yeah,
I would replay that game.
This was good. This was fun.
I would totally replay that game if they did that.
Yeah.
That game was great. Maybe you would play it for the first time this time because you didn't really play it that much.
I played it a bit. I didn't finish it. My issues are more on the gameplay side.
That's what I'm saying.
But again, now that I played this great new Dynasty Warriors game earlier this year, that really like revitalized that. Maybe they're back on their game.
Like if you can play Age of Calamity with like really smooth performance, wouldn't you be motivated to play it again and beat it?
Would certainly help. Yeah,
I think you should.
I'm not really interested in going back to playing Switch games that had performance issues on a Switch 2.
No, but like if they fix those performance issues.
They should really do that.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. He looks exactly the same.
He really does.
8 years later.
Yes.
Truly.
Good for him.
Skincare. Drop the skincare routine. you look great.
Next, Walmart is gearing up for the Switch 2 launch. Look at this. They have these, I don't even know what to call these.
They're like little parking
so there's those
like those balls in Target.
There's like those, this is at Walmart. So they have those like metal things so you don't drive your car into the Walmart. But they have nicely decorated those with these Switch 2
Mario Kart World thingy-majiggies.
Pole thingies, and we got Mario Kart items and coins out here.
What was that Target did where they made it into like Pokeballs or whatever?
Did it with Pokeballs, did it with Kirby, I believe.
Kirby,
also.
Yeah. So this is a fun little celebratory thing that, retailers
Remember when they made the carts into the shopping carts into Mario Kart?
We were like in the carts. It was so fun.
That was very fun. Yeah, I think this is really cool. I think it's neat that they're doing it so early as well, but I hope it doesn't rain there because it looks like these might melt.
Are they not?
They look like cardboard or something. I don't know.
Oh, they are cardboard. You're right. They're not.
In the night's just going to steal these, lift it right off. Yeah, but that's cool. This is great. This is just like an easy inexpensive way to get people
like in the mood,
hyped and in the mood. Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, this next one has been kind of a controversial thing. Our friend Wood beat 'em ups. People, they shared this image of the Switch and the Switch 2 box next to each other, and they're both red. The systems obviously look very similar.
Right.
There's a big 2 on the Switch 2 box, but Wood said, "Call me crazy, but this packaging is far too similar and a bit confusing for the general public."
Yeah.
And he got a lot of hate for saying this.
He really did.
This was like, people know, like, we're not morons.
Yeah, people are saying, "Oh, there's a big 2 on it." That's very obvious. That's true. The logo is different. I tend to agree with Wood, though. I feel like a lot of people have never worked in retail. Like, if you've worked in retail at all, you will know how just illiterate people can be when it comes to product packaging and looking at things.
You worked in retail?
I worked in retail for a little bit when I was in college. I worked in an Express. It was clothing. Different than electronics, obviously. But it is true. Like, you put up a sign that says, like, something.
Yeah.
And no one reads it, and they're just, like, confused. We used to have the stupid signs, like, buy 2, get 1. You know, it's like, I don't understand.
And how would they misinterpret that?
It's like, both are free. I'm like, okay.
Everything's free.
Everything's free. 50% off 50% off if you spend $100 or more.
Yeah.
How much do I have to spend to get 50% off? Excuse me? Excuse me?
Well, a lot of people have been chiming up with those same kind of experiences that they have had. Like, I used to work in a restaurant.
I used to work in a restaurant too. And it's like,
oh
my gosh. It's like, read a menu. Like, I don't understand this menu. Like, okay. Like, at a glance too, like, if you're just, your eyes are sweeping over the shelves. Because they're the same color, the systems really do look very similar. Even like the Joy-Con in the grip looks very similar.
It's extremely similar.
And the way that they've mocked up this drawing where one Joy-Con is like kind of off of the grip looks very similar. I agree with Wood. I think that the general public, you know, could be confused by this.
So here's what I think is going on here. I think there's some amount of cognitive dissonance, which that's a like I studied psychology in college, so that's like a thing where it's like your mind is torn between two things and it cannot resolve it. And I think the two things that people's minds are being torn on here is Nintendo is making some of the same mistakes of the Wii U. Okay, like something like this. Like, oh no, it's going to be the Wii U all over again. It's too similar. People are going to be confused. But then on the other hand, smashing records, pre-orders sold out, you know, hundreds of thousands of people are on a wait list. It's like, well, why? If they happened this one other time before and it was a catastrophic failure, they're doing it again and it's going to break all the records. My brain cannot compute. I think that's what's happening with a lot of people when these conversations come up.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's very true. Like you're getting basically like the two opposite things. Right. But two opposite things can be true. Right. Is the thing. That the human mind cannot compute. Right. But the facts are, two things can be true. Right. They could be selling, pre-orders can be going very well. They could be hitting a lot of strong demand. But it can still be confusing for someone that's not a, like, super fan of Nintendo that's been following all of this news. Right, and I think it also just speaks to how deep the Wii U's problems were, where it's like, look, it really wasn't just this. It was, you know, the fundamental offering of that product was just not something that a lot of people wanted versus this. It's like, oh yeah, I want this, so I'll figure out the difference between 1 and 2. Yes, I'll make sure my grandma can figure out the difference between 1 and 2. It's like, yes, in some cases, this is you know, a huge issue that you will never overcome. But in other cases, when the product is that cool, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and this is just what it is with iterative products. Look at the iPhone. The iPhone is basically this, except we're at iPhone 10 now. Look, you know, the packaging looks the same. How many rakes has Nintendo stepped on in this whole run-up, in this whole campaign? A lot of rakes, right in the face. Is it going to matter? No. Yeah. It's not going to matter because this product is so cool and so great. So again, you hope they don't learn the wrong lessons from that of like, we can do whatever we want and get away with anything. Yeah. And it doesn't matter, sell out. But yeah. The other thing is that, you know, no one can know this except for, you know, only time can tell long term how it's going to do. No one can know. No one knows. And maybe long-term, some of these rakes that they've stepped on, some of these confusing things that maybe, you know, they could have avoided, like packaging, will make a difference in the long term. Sure. But in the immediate, like, launch window, launch year, they're going to be smashing records, you know, but only time can tell if it will have the super longevity of Switch 1. Will it have, like, the breakout hits that Switch 1 had that sort of brought in and kept in new audiences? Will it have that? Like, we don't know. So we have to wait and see if those things happen, and then we can maybe look back and say, like, okay, if they had done these 10 things differently, maybe they wouldn't be in X situation. So that's just something to look at. But yeah, I don't think Wood should have gotten hate for this, because anyone that's ever worked in retail or the service industry, oh my gosh, you have 1,000,001 stories about how people cannot literally read anything. So me included. When I go to a store, I'm like, what? I don't understand this. I don't know.
I think
so.
Also in this picture, I think it's interesting that the Switch 2 box is like maybe 15% smaller.
Yeah.
Despite the system being a good deal larger. They've really have found the most efficient way to get this thing into a box.
Shove it in there.
I think is pretty interesting.
They would talk about all the time, the retail team, the people that did all the packaging would talk about all the time how, like, you had to keep it under a certain dimension to fit it on shelves, and you want to fit like kind of as many as you can on a shelf. It's so obvious.
Yeah, it's also like, you know, if it's 15% smaller, then that's, you know, how many more hundred of these can you stick in a box to put on a boat to bring over?
Exactly. It's all related to money being saved and like your product being out there. Yeah. And like I remember we had huge issues with Labo. Remember? And they were like, oh my gosh, one of the major issues we're having in retail, besides the fact that it was crappy cardboard junk, was that they could not like find a place to like put it on a shelf. Like they couldn't display it.
And that was the downfall of like Rock Band and the plastic guitar genre, because when that stuff started to slow down, it was like, oh, this is taking up a lot of space.
And we got to get rid of this.
We need something.
There's no
new
one.
Yeah.
No one's going to
this
stock
is not working. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Next thing, we did a whole dedicated video on this, but there's kind of been even more of this, where systems and now games are just showing up at retailers. And we saw a picture of a retailer that had systems out just in a locked thing, but just out on the floor, on the store floor.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures, more and more pictures are popping up. I mean, even there could be a leak by the time this episode comes out. Like there could be a huge leak of like, oh, let me show you through all the menus. Like, oh, let me boot up this physical copy of Mario Kart. Let me show you through all the details of that. It just feels like any second this is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It does feel like any second, you know, a leak is like imminent. Yeah. We were saying that it seems like these systems are kind of in the retail stores a bit early. So
earlier than they need to be.
Earlier than they need to be, it seems. It does seem like any minute now. Something danger zone. We're in the danger zone for sure.
Yeah, it's just I think very tempting to have people just staring at this, and like if you work there, you could be like, bro, just take a picture, and then because bro just post this on the internet,
How dare you?
Who knows? So we could pay him like, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 if you film this or that, and I'll put it up on my, and then it gets leaked back, traced back to you, and then you're in hot water. It's like it's just a very tempting situation for people who have been salivating over
this happened during the Switch
for months and years.
Switch 1 era.
Yes.
This exact same thing happened. So, yeah. I feel like every launch there's this danger, and it seems like, maybe there's no way around it, but it is what it is.
I do want to go back to this point, though. This place that identifies as a very small target said they got 40 consoles.
And this is consoles not for pre-order.
Not for pre-orders. So that seems like kind of a lot. And I do, again, we won't know, but I do think there will be pockets of these consoles that you can get if you are not camping overnight, which is ultimately a great thing. It's going to help Nintendo's numbers be through the roof. But yeah, they lived up to what they said they were going to do, which is do what they can to have it as available as they can. So you do have to give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, it sounds like hopefully that experience for people that are just getting it day of won't be like as impossible as for some other consoles. So yeah, if you don't have a pre-order, I feel like you don't need to like freak out too much. There's still a chance,
Yeah. And I do think then after that, there might be a bit of a lull where it's harder to find.
And then holiday, you'll probably get another
They're probably going to try and restock for the holidays.
Yeah.
So if you want to get one, now's a good time to really try.
Right.
Because it might get harder. Okay. I think that's the last of our news nugs. So let's move on to some of these bigger picture questions here. And one that's been going real hot and heavy over the last couple weeks is about the graphical power of the Switch 2. And, you know, is a Switch 2 more powerful than fill in the blank? A PS4, a PS5, a Steam Deck, an Xbox Series S, whatever. Like, people have been debating this like crazy and, you know, doing these, like, Cyberpunk is often the game that gets wheeled out for this, because there's some very impressive footage of Cyberpunk that CD Projekt put out. They know the game looks great. And that game is out on a number of other platforms where you can do these kind of side-by-sides. And to me, it just looks similar, which I think is a great thing, but people really want to have a definitive answer of, is it better than this? What are your thoughts on this raging debate?
You know me. I can't see anyway. I'm just kidding. I understand why this is important to people because, yeah, it is, you know, a very, again, we're talking about your brain grasping for the simplest explanation of value. Like, when you think about your next-gen console that you're buying and paying a lot of money for, you want it to feel powerful and next-gen. So I think that's where this debate is rooted in, is like, we don't want to buy something and immediately have it feel like something from a generation ago, you know?
Yeah.
So in terms of the footage comparison, you know, I think that it looks fine. It looks very similar to me. I really, if you ask me to pick out, like, you know, like highlights magazine style, like pick out 5 differences between the two things, I don't think I could. Seems like it's very capable. You know, it does seem like perhaps with very, very like demanding graphical games, you may have to sacrifice some frame rate stuff, or frames per second stuff. But other than that, it looks pretty good to me.
Well, we're not pixel counters, and if you gave me the truth serum of how I truly actually felt, I think my answer would be, who cares? It does not matter to me. But you know, in the case of this, CD Projekt has come out and said, like, this is the definitive way to play the game handheld. So the game is on the Steam Deck, so this is a better experience than the Steam Deck. And people who've played the game on Steam Deck, they're like, oh yeah, it's a noticeable step up from that.
That is how I play probably 98% of my Switch games is handheld. So if a game is if they're saying like, this is the definitive way to play on handheld, that's like an amazing, like, I'm excited about that.
Right.
I care about that because I do want these games to look good, but primarily in handheld mode.
Right. And then these other comparisons is where I just really start to like disengage from the conversation. It's like, well, is it more powerful than PS5? It's like, whoever thought a Switch 2 would be more powerful than a PS5? It's like, did people actually think that? I don't think anybody was actually thinking that. That's like the made-up argument that you're having with yourself. Also,
again, I think it's rooted in value. Though.
Okay.
It's like people saying, like, if it's not, then it's not worth $500, and they, like, freak out.
Well, the thing where this all falls apart is we're talking about a home console versus something that can go handheld.
Right.
So it's completely like apples and oranges situations. Like, if this was a home console, I think you'd have more credence to have some of these conversations. But that's not what it is.
But some people are like, well, I play, opposite of me. They're like, I play 99% on docked. So this needs to run.
Then get a PS5. We don't need to talk about this anymore. It's like,
well, they're thinking like, well, for all my Nintendo first-party games, I need it to be this graphical level. I'm not this person, so I also don't care. But I'm putting myself into the shoes of potentially what they're thinking.
It's just a lot of people who are trying to like validate their life decisions through
like what
version of a game looks better. It's
yes, that is exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I want to have conversations like that.
That's exactly what it is, though. This is exactly the mental math that they are doing. But there's a little percentage of me that understands that because you may have saved up like a lot of money to buy this thing. You may have been waiting for 10 years.
Well, if you don't like it, then don't get it. Seems like an easy answer to me.
Yeah.
Get the PS5.
But then they can't play any of the first-party Nintendo games.
Sorry, that's the decision you made. Then buy it.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm going to buy it, but I won't be happy about it because I feel like Nintendo's like strong.
Well, you bought it and you have it. Moving on.
They won't. They won't. They won't. I'm just saying that is what these people are struggling with within themselves.
And then again, like, the role of Digital Foundry in these conversations, what Digital Foundry does is very interesting. I think it serves a purpose, but I think they are so well informed about all of this, and they do a good job of presenting the information in a way that is not like picking a side. It's just like, here's what we're seeing.
Yeah, they're very like neutral.
Right, here's what we're seeing. But then it gets used as fodder for these rage bait arguments. Like, I'd love to talk to, has anybody talked to them about how they feel about this? Like when their stuff gets like, they're like, oh, look how clearly this, like, oh.
But I mean, they don't care because that just
Xbots am cry, like.
That means that their stuff is getting visibility.
I think they probably care about that.
I don't think they care at all.
I think they care.
I think they quite like it. This is like media that love clickbait.
Like you?
Not like me.
When your stuff gets used as clickbait, rage bait?
I mean, I have no control over that, so I don't.
But you feel nothing?
I don't really feel anything. Do you feel something?
You've been an emotional mess is what you've said, so I think you feel something.
I only feel things for
I think you feel something.
Claire Obscura
I think
characters.
you're lying to yourself again. Anyways, I would rather have any conversation than the is a switch to.
Nobody wants to have that conversation.
Clearly a lot of people do.
Not with you.
No, not with me.
Then great.
Well, it's just out there. I have to see it.
You don't have to see it. Just scroll
But
past.
it's a conversation that people seem so willing. I think an argument that people seem so willing
But
to.
you don't need to argue with them.
Dig in on. No, I don't have to. But it's like why? Like
leave them alone. Let them argue themselves. They'll argue themselves until they're tired.
Getting my blood up.
They want to do it. It's fun for them.
Right.
It's fun for them. It's a thrill to argue with somebody.
I don't care. Moving on. Let's play a fun little game called Have We Changed Our Mind?
Okay.
There are some things where early on we put out a position of we like this, we don't like this, we think this is cool, this is not.
Okay.
With the passage of time and this thing about
and getting closer
about
too.
to come out.
Yes.
Let's see if we have changed our mind. Starting with Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
I have not changed my mind.
And your position previously was, I am not getting this.
I'm not getting this.
But you did seem to indicate some softening of this position a few weeks ago.
I'll play like 1 hour if you let me try yours.
Uh-huh.
But that's it.
And what if it's great?
Then
Will you get it for yourself?
Maybe. I'll keep my
What
mind
point
open.
are you trying to prove?
No point. I just don't want to pay for this right
What
now.
stand are you taking?
I just want to play yours.
What moral superiority are you trying to project?
I'm not projecting
by
any.
saying I am not getting this.
It just doesn't seem worth it to me right now. But if people are like getting this on launch day and they're like, oh my God, you cannot miss this. It's so worth the $10. And everybody that I trust with a review says that, then I'll probably get it.
All right. I'm definitely still getting it. I
Okay,
wouldn't say
great.
that
Then I can play yours.
I wouldn't say that I'm super enthusiastic about it, but again, when it comes to a new console, I want experiences that will show me what it can do that is new and different that I haven't seen before. And I still have questions about what the content of this is.
Exactly.
Versus an encyclopedia entry about a GPU or a magnet. I would love more actual game content.
Yeah.
And they have really not said much about that at all, but
right.
$10, I'll take a flyer on it. Fine.
Yeah, again, people are going to review this. They're going to come out and tell
Right.
us whether or not this has the things that you're looking for.
Right. But even if the reviews come out and they're like, oh, 4 out of 10, it's garbage, like I'll still get it. It's like whatever, fine.
You're such a simp.
I want to do
Welcome Tour.
I want to do the mouse golfing. I'm going to plug in my
Oh shoot.
What?
My document just
8,000 10 billion DPI digital mouse, USB mouse to play the Welcome Tour
Great.
golfing. I'm going to show you.
This is where you get good at Welcome Tour.
Game chat.
No.
We were both on the nay side of game chat.
Yeah.
Has your mind been changed on game chat?
No.
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 Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
We had a running
about
joke. Recently we had a really fun One Up Club meetup with our Patreon friends, and we were all hanging out playing in Discord, playing Mario Kart 8, and we were joking around. We're like, all right, next month Mario Kart World is going to be our meetup game. We're going to be doing it via game chat, and everybody was like, well, no thanks.
We have a comment from a Patreon subscriber who has a really good
I read that comment.
use case for game chat. So
but I feel like those use cases are they're corner cases.
I do want to note there are some really good uses that I think people will get a lot of fun and value out of it. But for us,
no,
probably not.
No.
No.
And I didn't buy the camera or anything like that. Did you?
No, I didn't get any cameras.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a lot to get me over that hump.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I just don't see much of a need.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to ask me if I've changed my mind? This has mostly been me ribbing you.
Oh. I mean, I don't know. There wasn't really a lot that you were like, I hate this or something like that. I mean, there really isn't a lot about the system where it's like, oh, this is a terrible feature. I wish they didn't include this. It's very like standard in terms of like, this is just a better version of that thing.
Do I regret buying? Well, this is actually a segue into our next question here, which is what are we getting on launch day? So I am getting the standalone system and physical Mario Kart.
Right.
I think a fair question is, do I regret not getting the bundle and saving myself
$30?
some moolah?
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah,
$30 in the game.
Bucks, yes.
Yeah.
And the answer is no, I don't.
You don't care.
No,
you want the physical game.
I want the physical copy.
Yeah, you want that. Even though the box is really ugly.
This is going to be my coping mechanism now, is to just buy first party physical exclusively.
Until Doug Bowser
drops the axe and makes it a game key card.
Next Zelda game is going to be a game key card. Get ready. Get ready.
If the game's too big, what can we do?
Gird your loins.
It's too big
for it to be a game key card. Gird.
Gird. What exactly does that mean?
I think it's like prep yourself.
In as G-rated a way you can explain. What does gird your loins mean?
I'm going to make the noise in the face. Ready? That is girding your loins.
No. Okay, so what are we... Day one. What are we getting?
Yeah. I am getting a Mario Kart bundle Switch 2.
Yeah.
And I am getting the games that I'm getting are Cyberpunk. Digital. All the games I'm getting are digital.
I'm getting Cyberpunk. I actually pre-ordered a Cyberpunk physical.
Great. I'm getting Deltarune, obviously. Digital, because there's only digital. And yeah, I think that's it. I didn't buy any like controllers. I didn't get any of the other stuff.
You did not get a Pro controller.
I did not.
Why not? Oh, because you're mostly handheld. You're mostly handheld.
And my Pro controller works really well still.
You need to get you have a screen protector?
There's one sitting on the desk over there. I think there's 2 in that box.
Okay,
so, yes.
So there better be 2 because I bought that for myself. But if there's 2, you can have one.
Why are you like this? I thought we were friends. The more I go
You're like a barnacle living off of me.
The more I go through this launch cycle with you, the more I realize that we are on shaky ground, my friend.
You're like a barnacle.
I'm not a barnacle.
Oh, can I have that? Thanks. Oh, look at this. Cool, I'm going to take this.
I thought you'd like to give it to me.
Case? Do you have a case sorted out? No. What are you going to do? You don't care. I guess we're not going anywhere.
Squeeze it into a case that I have.
I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should try and squeeze it into a Switch 1 case.
Not a Switch 1 case, just like a bag that I have.
A sock of some sort.
I don't think a sock is big enough to fit that thing. Maybe like I have a little like cinch bag.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're not going anywhere.
You're going on a trip in July, but you'll probably have a case by then.
I'm going at the end of June. I can get it sorted by then.
You have an SD card ordered as well.
So that's, yes.
Are you going to cancel that order?
So that's everything that you're getting.
Yeah, I'm not getting much of anything.
Okay.
So simple.
So I should say, we're very lucky. Some companies are sending us games. Thank you very much. We will be talking about them on this podcast and other places. So I'm getting the standalone system, getting the Mario Kart physical Cyberpunk. I had kind of gone back and forth on that of like, oh, do I need that again? But then I remembered they have the save data transfer tool, and I would actually just love to
have it on
vacuum over the data and just have the Switch be the main play. I think I'm good with playing it on PS5. I don't need to do that anymore for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And I can finally delete that off of my PS5 and open up a whole hunk of space over there.
That one's just, it's the same thing as like archived or whatever, so you can just...
But those are so big. It's annoying.
It is big.
To like download those 100 gig games.
Sometimes I'm like, I feel bad though. I'm like, oh, time to move this off. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I want to get that. I am getting Welcome Tour.
Good.
I am getting a Pro controller.
Good.
I'm really happy with my kind of controller situation now.
Yeah.
Where I have an original Switch Pro controller that I still really like.
I like mine too. Mine works great. I have the Smash one. I really like that one.
Yes.
It's pretty.
I have a bunch of third-party controllers, and we're probably going to do a whole video on accessories later on. But I've got a lot of those that, I mean, the quality of third-party controllers these days is really good.
And they actually have some features that Nintendo doesn't have.
And those are not...
So it's kind of cool.
Those are not exclusively made for the Switch 2. So, like, it doesn't have a C button on it, but guess what? I don't need it.
Who cares? Yeah.
I don't need it.
And they're a little cheaper.
They're definitely more.
You can save a little money for games or for other things. Like you can get more of something else, whatever.
Right.
You know?
So again, it's like oh, I've got people coming over. It's like, well, guess what? I don't need 4 Switch 2 Pro controllers.
This is very expensive. You had 4
in the poorhouse, as they would say.
Yeah. So they need to bring their own BYOC.
Yes. So I've still got all of those. The screen protector, the case. I'm still waiting on.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't see myself needing it immediately, so I can wait a small bit.
You can see what else is good out there and stuff.
On that, and then
I'm gonna miss my Animal Crossing case. It's so pretty.
Yeah, and then there are some games that we already know that we're getting. Like for example, the good people at Shinen. We're getting that Fast Fusion code, no problem. So that's that's very nice for us.
It's really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the launch day plan?
What is our launch day plan?
Yes.
Not Nintendo's, but ours.
Well, yeah.
So you have a physical pre-order at GameStop in the area.
Sure do.
Which is exciting and fun. And it sounds like they're doing the midnight launch starting at 9 p.m. Pacific time, which is great for us.
It's outstanding for us.
So we're definitely going to be vlogging this for the June vlog. So we'll have to like go and film you getting your...
I think this is the June vlog.
Well, yes.
I think this is it.
Yes.
This is the extent of the June vlog.
Well, we might, unbox a thing.
Well, yes. So, what yours is coming where?
It's being shipped to me.
Oh, okay, so you don't have to go anywhere to pick it up. Oh, because you were saying that you got some email. This is through Best Buy?
I have several.
But when you said you got some email asking me to indicate some preferences.
My GameStop pre-order, they sent me an email saying, make sure your address is correct. We're going to get ready to ship your thing.
But did they give you an option to get it in store also?
They did not.
No.
I think I don't want to mess with it, so let it.
That wasn't even an option, though.
Yeah, let it be.
Okay.
So I'll get it at some point on June 5th.
Presumably on June 5th. But you don't know when.
I don't know when. Yeah, that's fine.
Where I live, for some reason, I get deliveries like really late.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It must be on some weird part of the route where it's like the end
of the route.
It's like 8 o'clock or something. I'm getting a pack. Like, what?
Weird.
It's too late for this.
No, they tell you like what time it should arrive, so it should be fine. The one that I have through GameStop is actually for Sean, so I need to give it to him somehow.
I do still have the Walmart one that is my backup system. That I think it said it was coming on the 7th, which is a really random, weird time.
Yeah.
But again, it's an emergency backup, so I have that in a worst case scenario.
Nintendo is supposed to be shipping mine too, the My Nintendo one. I'm curious about how
you did get that one, yeah.
I got that one.
Well, that'll be interesting to see how that works.
I will report back on how that works. Yeah, and then I have a Best Buy one.
So it's all on my shoulders for the 4th then. So we're going to go to the GameStop.
Yes.
We're gonna hang out with that crew, that line.
Fun.
All those same people from about a month before.
Yes.
We're going to get the system. We're going to come back here and unbox it. And that'll take us into the night. And then I think I need to do the not fun stuff, which is the system transfer.
Yeah. Are we going to go check out the Nintendo San Francisco store?
When are we doing all of these things?
I don't know. Is it fun to go see what they're up to before we...
Oh, beforehand?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could do a...
Maybe you could swing by.
I think you should swing by and see what's happening.
I'll swing by before we have to go to GameStop.
Right.
and film that a bit.
Right.
And just see what the crowd's energy is like.
Because I think that's a video we just have to get out as soon as possible, even if that's like very late at night. I don't think you should wait. Got to get it out.
You want me to edit a video while you play your Switch 2?
I'm not playing a Switch 2. I'm watching a Pigman move a tile from one to the other.
You better sit in this office with me then while I edit this video.
Fine. That's fine.
I'm going to make sure you're not playing Mario Kart World while I'm not
playing anything.
Because that's messed up.
I'm just getting it ready for the next day when we're going to come in and get going with the rest of our lives. Here.
The next day is what day? Friday?
Oh, that's the 5th. That's actually the 5th. That's actually launch day.
That's actually launch day. What are we doing on launch day?
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting this thing.
Okay.
Oh, I also on my pre-order, you're right, I do have the SD card, which I'm leaning toward canceling.
How much was that?
I think I'm getting fuzzy on the details. They really kind of like upsold me on that at the last second.
I like how you fell for it.
Well, they were like, oh, you can cancel it and apply it to something else. I was like, okay, fine. I think that was $100 and 12 gigs, I believe.
It was $100?
Yeah.
Oh, that's expensive.
Because these things are getting hard to find. But
that's very expensive, though.
I don't think I'm going to need it immediately.
How much money did you spend that day?
And again, I can't remember. It was a company that I had heard of. It was not some like no-name company.
Did it have a Mario on it?
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not sure I need this right
away.
now.
Yeah.
Right now. And then people have said...
But your 437 things.
People have said, the prices on these could drop by the holidays.
Oh. Because maybe this is some sort of Black Friday deal or something.
It's a pretty new format, so it's still like, it's kind of immediate for it to be in this high demand. So I could see that being the case. So I haven't decided 100%, but I lean towards...
That seems expensive.
I do lean towards...
what that is.
Canceling that. Yes.
Okay.
So that's the launch day.
So that's the launch day plan. And then we'll be,
bring the Red Bull. Oh, we're going to get a Red Bull.
The Red Bull.
Perfect. That's how you can stay up and edit. Perfect. Drink the Red Bull. There you go. It's like stuffing spinach into Popeye's mouth. That's how he gets going. Just chug a Red Bull. You're good to go.
Muscle.
Yes. Third-party games that we want to come to Switch 2 that have not yet been announced yet. You wanted to talk about this.
I do want to talk about this because I do think there's like the second wave of stuff that's probably hopefully going to be announced soon of like what else is coming to Switch 2. So are there any on your list or you're like, oh my gosh, bring this. I want mini shoot adventures. Because I want to play that game.
Oh.
I want the Blueprints.
Yeah.
I want Clair Obscura. I want that because I want other people to play this game.
Yeah.
I want...
what if it's on a game key card?
Who cares?
Game of the Year status canceled!
Just play it!
Game of the Year status canceled if Clair Obscura is on a game key card.
If there is any disparaging comments about this game because it's on a game key card, I'm going to come after you. You're mad at the Digital Foundry people or whatever, the Digital Foundry argument. I'm mad at people that would skip an amazing game because it's on a game key card.
Have to make a stand.
It's not going to matter.
La revolution!
It's not going to matter. Yes. Do you have
That's it? Oh.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
That's it. I mean, there's a lot of games on day one, so I'm actually fine to wait a little bit to spread these out.
Yeah.
I go back to that list that we had from the beginning. Like Baldur's Gate 3 just seems like it makes a lot of sense.
I can finally finish that game.
For that to come, you can finally play that game.
I can finish that game.
That's another game that has a really nice save data transfer tool.
Yes, I'm in Act 2, so I have to...
That would be my third time buying because I have it on PS5, I have it on Steam Deck.
Yeah. Oh man.
I've played very little of that on the Steam Deck actually, but then I can just shoot it right over.
Okay.
To the Switch
too.
too.
UFO 50 is another one that some indie games I would love to see on a Switch too.
Yeah, I mean we're Summer Game Fest is happening.
Infinity Nikki.
The day.
Sorry.
Yes.
I'm just gonna name games and interrupt you.
Summer Game Fest is happening the day after the Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah.
We'll probably get some more announcements of Switch 2 games then. The Xbox. We're gonna talk about Xbox in a second. The Xbox Game Showcase. We're waiting for Xbox news. There's probably going to be a Nintendo Direct this summer. We're going to talk about that later also.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be no shortage of games.
Give it to me. I want this to be like, I mean, I just want everything in one place, you know what I mean? Like, because I hadn't played my Switch for so long. We've been playing Fantasy Life.
Are you selling your PS5?
Which, no. Absolutely not. Because we were, what was I saying? We're playing Fantasy Life.
I don't know what you were saying.
Which we'll talk about in the games we're playing section. But again, I'm also, again, reminded, like, oh, it's just so nice to have it on a handheld.
Yes.
So nice to be able to play, like, all around the house or, like, when I'm somewhere else that's not at home. Like, it'd be so nice to have, like, all these games that I love, just that I can play. I can go anytime. Go back to Clair Obscur or any game. Like, I can just go. Shadow of the, whatever.
So many great places I can play, like the couch.
My bed.
As opposed to the places where you can play on a TV, like the couch.
No, I like to play in bed. It's so nice. I've been playing.
You have a Portal.
That's true.
What's the difference?
I've been using the Portal a lot. Although these Xbox games.
Still time to cancel your pre-order. Huh?
These Xbox games.
Yes.
I've been playing, like, no handheld option.
Clair Obscur did not have a cloud streaming option.
Strangely,
unfortunately, on the Xbox.
See.
That was kind of a bummer.
See.
Actually. Yeah. Where were we on this? Oh, okay. Open questions. These are things that we just have lingering that we don't know yet. We're waiting. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll have to actually get the thing in our hands to know. Here's a question. I'm very curious about this. So I think it was last week, we talked about not the Switch 2 editions, but the free Switch 2 upgrades that games like Mario Odyssey, like Pokemon are getting. Can third parties do those? I don't believe there's any again, leave a comment if I'm wrong. Are there any third-party games that have announced that? I'm not talking about a paid upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just like, oh, we just gave it a little boost.
Yeah. Are they allowed to?
I don't know. Or is that something like, oh, Nintendo hasn't told us how to do that yet? We're not sure. Like, I don't know. I think it's a little interesting that we don't know of any third-party games that are doing that.
They've said this.
Yeah, because it seems like there would be somebody out there that would want to take advantage of this.
I agree.
So I just don't know. It's not a huge thing, but I'm curious because I would love as many games as possible
to get a little boost.
Take that route.
Yes.
Next, where are the Xbox games? Where the heck are they? The Verge.
Phil, where are you?
The Verge did an article recently where they reiterated their expectation that Microsoft is working on Xbox ports for Switch 2, and they said, I expect we will hear about these soon.
June.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Rhymes with June.
Do you think it's going to be June?
I think it's going to be June.
In what, where and when, though?
They haven't announced, like, any kind of thing. Because usually...
Any kind of thing, no.
Usually they do that fun event right after Summer Game Fest on a Sunday where they do announce, like, their new stuff. Like, we went to it last year, which was really great.
It's their E3 press conference.
It's basically the E3 press conference.
Is that the right place to announce huge support for another platform?
No, it is not. That's why I think they're not... Maybe they have some other broader things that they're talking about, so they're not doing that event this year?
But they're doing that event.
They are?
Their press conference? Yes, it's on June 8th. This was announced months ago.
Okay, I did not realize they were still doing that event.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
You can have this great moment where it's like, and then this is an Xbox shows up on the Switch 2 screen, right? Nintendo will love that.
Oh my
That's
God,
exactly
no.
what they're going to do.
I don't think we're going to do that. I don't think we're doing that. I don't think we're doing that at all. They got it. Okay, so maybe then I'm changing my prediction.
You didn't have a prediction to begin with.
Can you just let me talk for a second? You're being very rude and distracting. Yes, cover your mouth. Go over there in the corner. Turn around. So I think then they want to do the June thing and get it out of the way, all of their big announcements, and get it all out of the way first. And then maybe during Nintendo's thing, they'll have like some segment with Phil that's like, and also we're going to be bringing these ports to Switch 2.
Gamescom? Space World? Wait till Space World? TGS?
Stop saying names of shows. It's weird.
Well, that's whatever. Wait till this. Wait till that.
TGS, TGA, Game Fest, Space World.
I just don't see them having much reason to wait, is the thing. It's like, if you're going to do it, get these games out. Maybe
they convinced themselves that they had to do their thing first. And then do this other thing.
It will be interesting.
Secondary.
It will be interesting.
It's like, we're first. This is our big stuff that we are excited and we want you to, get excited about. And then the sub-bullet underneath the big thing that we've just told you about is these ports coming to Switch 2.
The June 8th event, it will be interesting to see how they position some of these games, because they really have found a lot of success in this third-party publisher route. So again, is it strictly like we're talking about the Xbox platform, or is it, you know, you see a game and then at the end of the trailer it's like all these other like PlayStation, Switch 2, like all of that. Like,
so it's just like we're everywhere.
But again, you think of a game like Doom, The Dark Ages, where people are debating like, oh, it's 3 million people played it. Is that good? Is that bad? Like, there's a lot of people who are going to have a Switch 2 who might be interested in that game.
I'm interested.
So get with the going, you know? What are we waiting for? Let's do this.
I really think that's what it is, though. They really want to get their first primary message out first before they do any sort of supporting messaging.
Yeah, I think...
Because it is on another platform. You can't... there's no two ways about that.
Right. I agree. I think presuming that a Nintendo Direct is happening in June, I think that's a good place to do it.
Yeah.
I would be pretty surprised if we get out of June without knowing about this stuff.
I think we're in June when this happens.
I think these are not new games.
Exactly. They're ports.
Let's go.
Of old games.
Yes.
Yes.
Something else that we have an open question about. We have not really seen anything about this new Nintendo Switch mobile app.
They announced that they were going to do this thing, and now it's been kind of radio silent.
So this was previously the Nintendo Switch Online app.
Right.
That's getting rebranded. They've said some things you can do. They said your screenshots and videos will go there. But
so you don't need to do the 2 QR code scanning anymore.
No, that's, thank goodness.
That's great. That was very clunky. I did not like that.
That got tedious. But we haven't seen anything about it. Maybe that'll pop up on Nintendo Today at some point, or, you know, I'm sure a couple days before they will do a big update for that app.
I guess I got to start looking at it again because no one can take a screenshot for me.
And you know, they'll have to update the app at some point, and maybe early next week.
Are you going to start looking at Nintendo Today again for news?
I look occasionally.
Because before, the big stuff was popping up on you know, a news feed or whatever. But now it's like impossible for people to take these screen grabs.
Right.
So now I haven't been forced to look at this, and so it's like 9 out of 10 a silhouette of Mario, and then 1 out of 10 some sort of relevant news about
a 360 rotation of an HDMI
cable.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
That's a precious asset that we can't let the world see.
So precious.
The image of an HDMI cable.
Who's going to tell me what that silhouette is if I can't share it? Who's going to tell me? I need help.
Educate yourself.
I need help.
Next question. So the gradations of improvements on a Switch 2. Switch 2 editions.
Yes.
You're paying for this, you're getting a big something new.
Right.
Zelda, Kirby, whatever. Next, free upgrades where they have done some work to improve this experience. Okay. Is there a third layer where you do nothing to this game, but it somehow just runs better? We saw some people on our Discord saying, maybe Animal Crossing New Horizons, maybe the load times will be better.
Can compare it and see.
I mean, I'm sure people will be doing that on day one.
No, we won't know.
But I would love for these games to also look better, but just at a base level, the load times,
sounds good to me.
That could be pretty huge.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
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 Maybe there's like shadow improvements that are so a smaller side that they have not really advertised.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. But it just kind of happens. There's no work needed by the developer.
Yes, it's just because it's running on a more powerful thing.
Running on faster storage.
You've coded the game in such a way.
Better hardware, etc. Yes.
Exactly.
And then lastly, what is the solution for Joy-Con drift? We're just going to have to wait for these teardowns.
Someone's going to, Well, the question, those will be answered.
We'll know right away.
Phantom drift, though. It's a thing.
Phantom drift,
it can happen.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
How does this launch compare to what we were feeling during the Switch 1 launch? Are you talking about a general hype level or what? Well, it's hard to compare because we were working there before and we kind
of had a window into how people were feeling.
Well, how are you feeling? Are you talking about yourself or just in general?
I think in general.
Okay.
Yeah. The general public. How do you think they are feeling compared to the Switch 1 launch? I think it's more of a known quantity. Like, you know where you're getting.
Yeah.
So there's not that sort of like, I'm so surprised by this. Or like, I'm not convinced yet about this home console you can take with you concept yet. It's more so like, okay, I know exactly what I'm sort of getting when Switch 2 launches. Yeah. That's the feeling I get. It's not a bad thing. The other thing is that there is a palpable difference between Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild being a launch title and Mario Kart being a launch title. Like there is just a different level of anticipation.
Yes.
Yeah. Between those two games. I mean, they're both amazing games, obviously, but the audience is just so different. The people that are vocal about their likes and dislikes are so different. So yeah, I think there is a bit of a noticeable kind of hype level there.
Yeah, it is different. I think the hype is high, but it's not quite as high as the original Switch. I mean, that was like the Nintendo comeback. Yeah. Where a lot of people had sat out the Wii U generation. It's like, oh, we're getting back into that. So that was like just a very different feeling versus like I've been with it for the last 7 to 8 years and we're continuing on, but in this new way that I'm excited for. It's a little bit different there.
People love an underdog story where you're you're like about to, fail and then you come back like a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of situation. It just feels so like uplifting and dramatic and like it's such a cool story to tell. Obviously they don't have that story this time. It's very much like success begets success kind of thing. And it's not as like juicy of like a narrative, I think, which is what we predicted really in the beginning of all of this.
But at the same time, we have not gotten primo top-notch Nintendo for a little while. I guess I think maybe Mario Wonder. I used to say Tears of the Kingdom, and I forgot about Mario Wonder.
People were saying the same thing as you. Like Mario Wonder was the last time of like AAA Nintendo.
Super high level.
Yes.
It's been a little while, so that'll be great. But also just like the industry itself has been a little bit in the doldrums. So just like overall, just kind of feels like we need a shot in the arm of
injection of excitement.
Something fresh, something new, something to get excited about. So yeah, I think people are really looking for that and hoping for that to revitalize things.
I think so, and I think it will.
A little dull.
I think it will.
I think so too.
Need a little shot in the arm for sure.
You wrote down this next thing, and I'm not sure what you mean. So why don't you take us through this?
Yeah, I was wondering about this because I was thinking just through all the things Nintendo has been busy doing over the last month. They obviously are launching this new hardware into the world. And when we were at Nintendo, like when you launch new hardware, it is the #1 priority. It is the #1 focus for all the teams. Nothing else is to distract from this new hardware generation beginning. But this time around, it really does seem like it's like one of many things that Nintendo is doing. Like they not only have Switch 2 coming up, but they opened the new SF store, which was a pretty big deal. And again, we were there and we were like, this is a much bigger deal than we maybe anticipated. Because like every NOA executive was there and it was like a huge like to-do. And also they had the Epic Universe opening as well. I think it was just last week. Less than 2 weeks before the Switch 2 comes out, they had the big theme park opening. Yeah. Mr. Miyamoto was there talking about a theme park and not a Switch 2. So it just, we were talking so much anticipating this new generation and how Nintendo is going to be different in terms of their, focus not just on their core video game stuff anymore, but on these other entertainment things. And it's truly happening right now. So I want to know how you feel about this. Are you feeling okay about this, or are you thinking are they splitting their focus too much between all these other things and not really focusing on video games as much anymore? To me it feels very different, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it.
I feel fine about it because it's Doug Bowser doing the nationwide tour of glad handing and opening remarks and cutting a ribbon and kissing a baby. It's not the game developers who are taking time out to do this. It's not like Mr. Miyamoto was not grinding out playtesting on his hot new game or something to come out. Those people are still doing that. Those games are still going to be great. And I feel like these just kind of enrich the experience and gives you, that's how they intended it. It's give you more ways to get excited about Nintendo and experience Nintendo. So I think it's great. I do think it's tough. I think about if we were working there, that would be a tough month-long stretch. We heard from our friend who worked on the events team. He like, I've been on the road for 50 days straight.
Consecutive days, yeah.
Working
It's tough.
50 consecutive days.
Yeah, and he made a great comment that we resonated so hard with, because he was like, yeah, I would love to. They always say, like, oh, take some extra days off.
Right. Make it up.
Make up the days that you've worked the weekends. And it's like, but when though?
Right. You get home and it's like, all right, here's the next thing.
Yeah.
There's never a time
It's a tough
for
lift.
a break. So I really do feel for that team that has to do that. But again, the teams that are working on the games, on the hardware, on the system, those are not the teams that are doing this stuff.
Yeah, I agree that they're not like, being pulled in different directions from like the development side, but it's like the company's priorities are different now though. So curious to see how it plays out in the future in terms of...
Well, what do you think could go wrong?
Nothing is going wrong. None of this is wrong. It's like all very exciting stuff. I'm not saying that this is one way bad or the other. I'm just saying that they're different now in terms of like, instead of focusing on like all their energy as a company on one single thing, they've like diversified on these other things that are great touch points and really fun experiences for people. But it's just, it's just going to feel different, It's just, that's just what it is. And they're going to continue going down this path.
Okay.
I think they're going to continue, doing the movies, doing the entertainment stuff, opening these stores. It didn't seem like they're stopping to open these stores. Just announced that Fukuoka store, like literally a day after they opened this SF store. So I can see them, as a company that has lots of different things versus the singular focus on making hardware and software. So
they had some other things before. They just weren't quite as cool. Like they
weren't such big priorities though.
Mid-mobile games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they just weren't as cool and as big.
Yeah, they weren't as big and they weren't priorities. Now they are.
I think they wanted mobile games to be a huge priority, but they just didn't hit that way.
Yeah.
They would have liked that. It's like, these are things that actually make a difference.
Yeah, and make a lot of money for them.
Right.
Make a lot of money, so lucrative in terms of like their like business, like the business growth, right?
Yes.
It's like we're not completely relying on this. It's not make or break for us anymore on whether or not this game does well.
Well, I think I think they still feel like that's what's driving all of these other things. Like if they had a Wii U level dip, I think that would be a huge cause for concern for these other things as well. Because it's like,
they're not as relevant.
Do you want to go to a store as much if it's like we're just sitting out a generation? Do you want to go to a theme park as much?
It's all connected in a beautiful tapestry, but it's like
that is still at the top of the pyramid.
Yes, I do wonder how long it will be until it
you might be concern trolling right now.
I'm not concern
I feel like
trolling.
you're concern trolling.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying any of these things are bad. I'm just saying like they...
What does it mean for the Universal theme park if the Switch 2 is less powerful than a PS5? It's over.
It's over.
It's simply over.
You have to gird your loins.
Pack it up.
If Zelda's on a game key card,
good,
Universal will go out of business.
Good advice for all of us. Gird our loins.
Universal will go out of business.
Gird with what, though?
If Zelda is on a game key card. Forget it. We're not going ever. Boycott. Girl caught.
What? Oh, girl caught.
Girl caught.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Really?
People are girl caughting.
Oh.
Certain things. I'm going to girl caught you.
Great.
After this conversation.
Let's end with this question. What truly excites us about the Switch? I want to pin down some specific things. So it's like, I'm excited. It's like, oh, about what? About this new thing. But what about it is getting you excited?
I have always said that I just want a better Switch. And that's what this is. It delivers on that, I think. And I'm just really excited to get back to Nintendo games. Like, I honestly have not really played that many Nintendo games for the past year.
There haven't been a lot.
Because there hasn't been a lot.
Right.
I have, like, been enjoying playing my PS5 games on a portal. I've been loving getting back into Game Pass and stuff like that. It's great. It's great for me that I have all the different options, but not great for other people that don't.
Yes.
And I really do miss the flexibility that a Switch gives you, where you can like take it with you when you're on a trip, and I was getting very like nostalgic because I had looked back at all those photos of me on those trips with my Switch, and I'm like, I want that again. I want to have a reason to bring my Switch 2 around. I want to have
those candid photos where you were just caught. looking thoughtfully out a window, playing a Switch. Oh, you caught me. Oh,
staged myself. It is like one of those fun things that I used to do is like bring it around with me, and like I always kind of celebrated the idea that like I had this thing with me, you know?
Yeah.
And I miss that. For the last like year and a half, I feel like I haven't really had a reason to do that, and I miss it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
my answers are mostly the same. It, again, starts with just turning back on the spigot of, the best and brightest of what those Nintendo teams are capable of. It just feels like we haven't had those for over a year.
Right.
Sorry, Mario versus Donkey Kong was not doing it for me. Nintendo World Championships.
I guess it was Mario Wonder was the last.
Was not doing it for me. There was some. I mean, a game like Emi, I love that, but it's like
yes.
Give me what you got. The other
Tokyo EAD, give me what you got.
The other one is maybe more specific to us in terms of what we do, which is like I really do want as many of these third-party games as possible to come on.
Yes.
Because a lot of times like we'll be excited about a game, we'll be passionate about a game. Like I think about like a Clair Obscur or like Assassin's Creed Shadows, where it's like we're really excited about it, but since we are a Nintendo-oriented channel, like there's just a limit to how many people care if it's not on a Nintendo system. Because it's like, well, I don't have access to that game because I have a Nintendo system. I don't have that other system. I can't play it. Sounds cool, but I literally can't play this.
That makes me sad.
Right. So, again, like, and we've had so many great moments with those games. So it's like, just get these onto this system and we can all celebrate these great games and all enjoy them together.
Yeah.
Because they are really wonderful.
Yeah, well, like when I play a game like Clair Obscur that quite literally like changed my life, it's so sad that like 80% of our audience
seems to be for the worst.
No, not for the worst. I mean, it makes you think about something.
A deep depression spiral.
Not depression. It just makes you think about stuff, which is great. You should have moments in life where you're just not like empty-headed or like milling about.
No thoughts, just vibes.
You should be thinking about some stuff. But yeah, it's like not a lot of people in our audience have access to it.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh God, I want everyone to listen to the spoiler cast because it was so good.
Right.
But not a lot of people play this game in our audience, so.
Right. So that's just kind of like, the reality of it is like, let's get these great games in front of as many people as can, and we can enjoy and celebrate them together.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We asked our Patreon subscribers what they are excited about. And very interesting, got a wide range of responses. So let's see what they had to say. Start with Medallion. I'm tired of looking at my latest Nintendo system and seeing it be like generations behind in graphical presentation. While Switch 2 is still a huge boost, it still will be a generation and a half behind the competition, and not to mention when the competition releases their next-gen system soon, we'll be even further behind. But at least for a little while, we won't look like we're sticks and stones versus the modern era.
Okay. This, again, mental math of like, is this worth it? How long will this feel cool before it feels dated?
Right.
Yes, I get that.
But I feel like it might be long, like even when, like the I can't even believe I'm saying that. Like when a PS6 comes out, like I feel like these companies are going to be of this mindset of like, no, we need to be multi-platform. Like all these companies learn the hard way. It's like we need to get this on as many things as possible.
Especially with how expensive it is nowadays.
To make this viable for us. So I still have hope that this will be an extended renaissance of games being on
I sure hope so.
Yes. Titanium Soldier says, honestly, I'm really excited for the camera. My brothers will have them too, so it's an amazing way to feel like I'm reliving a piece of my childhood with not just them, but our kids and wives as well. We truly will be doing the Paul Rudd commercial.
I love it. This is awesome.
That's the perfect
This is the corner case, yeah.
For game chat.
This is totally the corner case. And there's probably people out there that have like a faraway friend.
Right, and if you have that scenario, that's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't. Doominal Crossing says...
I can move away.
Huh?
What if I moved away and then you would need a camera to talk to me?
It's a lot of effort on your part to use a camera.
Maybe I won't talk to you ever again.
Okay. Doominal Crossing says, Switch 2 excites me because it's pretty much everything I've wanted right out of the gate. I wanted a more powerful Switch and it exceeded my expectations. All of that, plus, this is easily my favorite launch window for a Nintendo console ever. You give me Metroid Prime 4K in the first year, and that's an automatic win as far as I'm concerned. That plus Mario Kart on day one, and Donkey Kong just a month after is the kind of stuff a year ago I would expect in a fake leak.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I keep forgetting about Metroid 4.
Well, it doesn't have a date.
That's why.
That's the problem.
Every time I'm like, oh yeah, that could be Game of the Year. Like I get all excited again.
Right. They do need to pin down a couple of these things. But
let me know when this game is coming out.
The year one lineup is, I think we're going to be playing some games.
Thank goodness. I'm so bored.
Give me what you got.
Yeah, I'm bored. I want to play some games. Wow.
Like Al Pacino in Heat. Give me what you got!
Oh, that's a pretty good impression of Al Pacino.
We're not introducing the Al Pacino voice into this podcast. It's too powerful to
sustain,
unleash.
To sustain for long periods of time. But we will be talking about games we're playing.
Yes. Games we're playing. Wow. A week ago, I did not have a clue that this new Fantasy Life game was even coming out.
Yes.
And I had a feeling it was going to be hot garbage. And lo and behold, we're both playing it and loving it.
I didn't think it was going to be garbage.
Really?
We played this game at TGS and liked it.
You played it briefly. It looked fine. But there were some signs of concern with level 5 in general. This game was delayed about a half dozen times.
Multiple times. There was a lot of like, is this ever coming out? Is it going to get canceled?
Is level 5 going to make it? Are they going out of business?
True.
Have they lost their minds?
There was
a lot of that.
There were some concerning things about that. But the game, surprise, came out. And yeah, this was right after we both finished Clair Obscur. And I was kind of looking for like a lighter game to play. And again, I was just like, I just want to go to bed and play this game in bed. I just would love to just not have to get out of bed ever. And I was like, oh yeah, Fantasy Life. And people in our community were like, you should play it. It's really good.
Really great word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
The WOM was popping off.
Yes.
So I got it and started playing it and was telling you about it. And then like the next day you got FOMO and you got it.
I did. I totally did.
You totally fell for it. Because we were talking about it in our Discord and I was like, all of us were like, this is so much fun. It like really is a lot better than we all expected, I guess. But the game is great. You know, it has like a fun little story. It has a lot of different aspects of the 3DS Fantasy Life. Obviously, this game is weird if you don't know about what this game is. It's an RPG, but you have like a bunch of different jobs that you can do, and there's a lot. Like
a dozen, maybe?
Like, yes. And there's a couple that you have to unlock as well, so there's even more than that. You can freely switch between the jobs after you do like the opening like tutorial with each job. Mm-hmm. You can pick to do whatever you want in whatever order you want. Like I chose cook as my first job, which is probably not the best decision, but I just wanted to.
Can you play the game? Do you have to pick a combat class at some point?
No, because as the explorer, you could just hit them with sticks and stuff.
Oh, so you can still get that?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's obviously not very powerful.
I'm gonna hit you with my frying pan.
Is there a more powerful... So you can hit somebody with a frying pan?
I don't think you can, actually. Oh. If you hit the attack button, it's like it switches you to like either your combat class or the explorer.
Interesting, okay.
Anyhow, yes, pick a combat job as at least one of your first jobs. But
Fantasy Life on 3DS, that's like a 10-year-old game now.
10-year-old game.
Which we played and really like. You played it more than me. And
I played this game so much, especially me and producer Stephanie. Like, we both bonded so much over playing Fantasy Life together. And other people in the office, too. We played a lot of multiplayer Fantasy Life together. But I was really, like, struggling to remember
anything
the details, like any details about 3DS Fantasy Life. I only remember the vibes. Like, I only remember the feeling of how much fun I had playing with producer Stephanie and how much fun we had like going on adventures together. And I remember riding a tiny horse with her, and it was cute and fun. But I cannot tell you, like, if there was a story. I could not tell you what job I chose. I could not tell you anything, but I played, like, 300 hours.
So that game came out in 2014, so it's well over 10 years.
Well over 10 years.
At this point.
Yeah. I was really surprised when I started the Switch Fantasy Life, because I was like, oh, the story's actually quite good.
What is the story?
So you are like an archaeologist, basically, and you discover this like dragon skeleton, which happens to come to life, and now you're able to travel between time periods, like to the kind of like Chrono Trigger. You can go between time periods, And
how many time periods have you seen so far?
There is, I can only go to the past and present so far.
Two time periods.
Yeah.
Okay.
There has been a catastrophic event. When you go to the present, you realize the place that you had, the island that you landed on, filled with wonderful inhabitants, was completely destroyed by something horrible, like a catastrophic event, and you have to like go between time to try to like stop it from happening. The story is very cute, but also the writing is really good. Like this game is legit hilarious. Like there's like so many funny moments so far that I was like literally laughing out loud. I was like, oh, this is like very well done. Like I'm liking the characters a lot. It's like the dialogue is really funny. It's very lighthearted. It's very cute. There's a lot of exploration. Like I can now I've unlocked a portion of the game where it's basically like Animal Crossing, where you can like terraform and you can build houses and decorate your house. And
is that limited to a certain area of the map?
It is.
Like
in the present.
your kind of city.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay.
And you basically have to like build houses and invite like little helpers, like NPC helpers, to come and do things for you. Like
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I just got the guy that's like he's like a really strong miner, so he can help you like dig through the caves and clear rubble and stuff like that. And I also have this this one girl that's like a woodcutter, so she can like help you do certain tasks.
So they can kind of in the background do the jobs.
They also come with you when you are doing combat, so they can they can help you fight.
They become like a party?
Yes.
How many of them can you have?
I have 2 so far, but there seems to be a lot in the game.
And they just kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
Really?
It's awesome.
Oh.
And the dialogue is hilarious. They like chat to you, like when you're walking around and stuff. It's good.
Really?
It's like really funny.
Did you think so? There's this bird character. Trip the bird. Did you think they're trying to like recreate some Jibanyan magic with this character?
It's a little bit
like a wisecracking,
deep voice,
wise guy.
Yeah,
I was like, there's.
Trip had a very tragic story though, which was like I was like, oh, I didn't expect this. It's so sweet. Yeah, so it's really good, and then it has a lot of like Breath of the Wild aspects too. Like I posted a photo where they literally have ripped off a shrine that looks exactly.
So
like
what is inside the shrine?
There was a little puzzle, and then I got one of my NPC characters in there.
Are there a lot of those? I haven't gotten to those either.
They gave me a prompt that's like, discover shrines to do things, and I was like, I'm assuming there's going to be more of these. And there's also towers that look like
There's also a character named Auntie Anne, like the pretzel.
Yes.
Why is that?
She has an eye patch.
Why is she Auntie Anne?
She's so cute. She's a very cute love story.
What's the other pretzel company? There's Auntie Anne's and what's the other one?
Wetzel's.
Wetzel's. Are we gonna get up with Mrs. Wetzel later on?
Mr. Wetzel.
Oh, they're rivals.
They can be lovers.
They're lovers. Oh wow.
Like a Romeo and Juliet. Wetzel and Anne.
Wetzel and Auntie Anne.
Yeah, cute, adorable. Everything is cute.
Everything
is cute. And then yeah, so that they have like a lot of like.
Do you have a tiny horse yet?
Yes, I have a tiny camel.
Oh, you are like way ahead of me.
I have a tiny camel.
Oh, a camel.
And I can ride the camel through like the hot parts of the desert.
Cool. Is it fast?
Very fast. Very spry.
Is it fun to ride the camel?
Very fun.
Okay.
You can gallop around. You can summon it anytime, anywhere too. Like in the town, you can like.
So what? So you said you started as the chef.
I have the jobs I have unlocked so far. I have the chef, the angler, the miner, and the magician.
So the magician is your combat class.
Yes.
What does the magician do? Just shoots little pew-pews?
You got pew-pews.
Okay.
Elemental magic, healing magic.
I was surprised that each of those has a very big skill tree on them.
Huge skill tree.
Whoa.
And then I did not expect that. I had like forgotten to upgrade some of those skills, and I was like, why am I so weak? And I was like, 64 skill points have not been allocated.
So what are some like the skills of the non-combat jobs?
It's like cook faster,
do it better,
5% more, whatever, like multipliers or whatever. The cook job is actually kind of hard to level up.
So what are you doing when you're the cook? Because I still don't completely understand. Because obviously I immediately went to the combat classes.
You went paladin.
Yes.
Of course.
Sword and shield.
Oh, God, you're so predictable.
But what do you do?
The cook class, you basically... they give you like recipes, and you have to like gather the ingredients to make them. And you play like a little mini game when you make the recipes. That's like almost like a rhythm kind of game sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can like eat the food and get a food bonus like in Monster Hunter.
Okay.
In combat, and then you can also sell it for monies. But it's just fun. It's cute and fun. You make an omelet, it looks delicious. You make a quiche, it looks delicious.
Yeah, a lot of it seems to be like getting items for crafting.
Yeah.
Or you see the woodcutters, like, oh, now you've got the log, and then there's the, what's the other wood one? Woodworking or something. And then it's like, all right, you're cutting that into 2x4s.
You need to unlock the other classes to make your gathering worth it. Or else it's like kind of like, why are you picking this up? You know? Like the next class I want to unlock is the alchemist.
What is that?
Because you can make a bunch of potions and stuff.
Oh, that's useful.
And I've been like gathering a lot of like, you know, flowers and other little like ingredients along the way. And I do think I need another combat class that's a little bit more like a tank.
You need the paladin.
Probably the paladin. I think there's hunter. There's paladin. There's
another one with a two-handed sword. It's like a mercenary or something. Oh,
mercenary. That's what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I really, really, really like it so far. I like it a lot. And there is a Switch 2 upgrade coming launch day. And it's
June 5th.
It's $259.
How did they come up with that?
Why not just $2 or why not just $3?
Why about free? If it's $2, how about it's free?
Some accounting person said we gotta squeeze.
They ran some yen through an exchange rate. Aha, $2.59.
Why is it $2.59?
It's really weird. I only have $2.58, so I guess I'm out of luck.
Oh, jeez.
Darn it, but
it does look better.
So they said it's going to have
graphical upgrades, right?
Resolution upgrade, but also frame rate and loading.
Yeah.
And they got these side-by-side screenshots. Looks nice.
Honestly, the game kind of runs okay.
Well, that was one of the reasons I was hesitating, because I saw some people saying, oh, a little rough on the Switch version, but I don't really know.
The load time's a little slow, but other than that, it's okay.
I mean, it seems to run as well as a lot of. I wouldn't say it's bad performance.
It's not bad
by any means.
It's really not bad.
I think at worst, like, it's a little blurry, so I do think the boost in resolution will be nice.
Yeah, they cheat it with like the little like lens, the what is it, the focal blur thing.
Right.
Yeah, they kind of cheat that.
But that's great. I was, because on their website they had said a Switch 2 upgrade was
But they
coming.
didn't say when.
I was bracing for like, oh, it'll be out in September. Like, at which point I've completely moved on.
You've not played.
This is perfect. This is smart of them. Level 5 is really back somehow. Somehow they came back.
This new Professor Layton game I'm very excited about.
Yeah, get hype.
I'm getting hyped.
I think you have permission to get hyped again.
I was very skeptical, and I was like kind of heartbroken because I love these I used to love the 3DS, DS level 5 games. They were like so my jam, and now I was like, ugh, they haven't done anything good in so long. But now I'm hyped again for sure.
See, look, this game was originally scheduled to be released in 2023. And it was delayed multiple times. Keiji Inafune was the producer. He was like the Mega Man guy from Capcom until he left the company, and then Hino-san had to step in as the producer.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Oh my god! What? It's got music by Nobuo Uematsu. Really? Uematsu?
The music is pretty good. I haven't really listened too closely. They got everybody on this.
What an interesting
story
behind this game. But yes, I'm obviously quite a bit behind you because I dragged my feet for a few days. And I've just gotten now I've gone back to my original time zone, time period.
Yeah. Very easy to switch between, like, you can just fly anywhere on that dragon.
Oh, really?
And you can just, like, fast travel anywhere. It's so nice.
The world looks very big.
Huge.
They do have some good quality of life things that I really hope Animal Crossing takes to heart. So, I really like this. So, for example, if you have one job equipped, let's say I'm the woodcutter, and I go and I come across some enemies. I can just press the attack button and boom,
you're paladin.
Poof, you change. There's no menu. There's no like, oh, change it. And
that's so nice.
Load time.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, now you need to equip this. It's like boom, but then I'm done with the fight. I go walk up to a tree. There's the button prompt. Push the button. Boom, you're back to chopping wood.
Yeah, it's great.
That's really nice.
They also have a fake like a construct from Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh.
You get a robot friend construct.
It's called Construct?
It's not called that.
Oh. I was getting worried for a second.
Someone's going to get sued.
Yes. That one's called Panda Express.
But you basically have this little guy it's a robot friend. It's very cute. Again, everything's very cute. It helps you like terraform, but it also helps you like mass collect things. I was like, Animal Crossing should have that.
So you can get 2 helpers plus this little vacuum?
The robot friend is not going to help you in battle.
But it's there.
It's there. And you can, when you go to the, like,
how much further do I have to go to get that? All of that?
It's not that far.
I want to get that. That sounds cool.
When you get your little NPC friends, it's hilarious, by the way. I don't want to spoil it for you.
All right,
so
I want to
tell you how.
I want to see this.
And then they have the other thing that's very Zelda-y. They make you one of the consumables that you need to like unlock things is basically what looks like a silent princess flower. It's like a blue magical flower, and you go to a goddess statue and you give her the flowers, and then she does a thing for you. So to collect those flowers, the robot friend you can just like say like collect every flower in this area.
Yeah.
And I'll just sweep do it for you. Such a great quality of life thing.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's like you don't need to be like picking these weeds like one by one, whatever.
Well, I do like
there is weeding too, by the way.
I know. I do
love the weeding.
You do even get experience for just like picking stuff off the
Yes.
It might just be like one experience, but
it's
like
still something.
I'm getting something out of this.
You
like,
are.
There are some nice either incentives or quality of life things.
Yeah.
The one quality of life thing that I will criticize, the game at the beginning is a little slow, it's a little talky.
You don't like the
at the beginning.
chit-chat.
The prattling. I don't mind it if it's like, here's something you need to know, here's some valuable information, here's how to do this thing, but when it's just like this useless back and forth between these characters that's going nowhere and it's not funny, it's not interesting, that's when I get really disengaged.
Yeah, you feel like you're...
It's like, stop, I just want to play this game.
That's why you didn't
blah, blah, blah,
learn
blah,
the
blah,
story.
blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah.
I thought it was actually pretty funny. At least it was funny.
Not in the beginning.
Oh.
It got a little funnier.
Did you like your professor friend?
Who?
The crazy professor guy?
I don't have a clue who you're talking about.
All right, then no. Then you did not.
I like the bird. The flashback with the bird, that was very funny.
Aww, and then now he can talk because he's wearing like that helmet or whatever.
Right.
Oh my
I
God,
like
so
that.
funny.
I like that.
It's good.
So wow, what a surprise! What a wonderful surprise.
I'm gonna keep playing this until Switch 2 comes out, and then
you can keep playing it.
Move over.
And then you can keep playing.
I need to save up $2.59. That's good.
You got some newspapers to deliver.
I have $10 extra from not buying Welcome Tour, so I'll just subtract that. So then I have $8 and what, 41 cents left.
$2. How much would you have paid $10 for this upgrade?
Heck yeah.
I would have too.
I would have paid upwards.
$2.
$10 for this, I would have been no problem. $10 for Welcome Tour, I'm like, don't even talk to me.
Wow.
Don't talk to me.
So interesting. How did they get
the value of a dollar?
The almighty dollar.
The almighty dollar.
We also, while we were at PAX East a few weeks ago, we got to play Dragon Quest 1 and 2
we did.
HD 2D Remake, which, as we were recording this today, is Dragon Quest Day. Ta-da!
Ta-da. What is your Dragon Quest song?
Wonderful.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
da, da,
That's
da,
it.
da.
And so on.
Da, 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 da.
You actually played this.
I did.
You played Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, obviously.
I did.
They announced this is coming October 30th, coming to Switch 2.
Yes.
Game key card, though. Oh! Right in the heart, Dragon Quest, why? But
you made the good decision of getting Dragon Quest 3 on your Switch.
Well, what they didn't do, they didn't announce the upgrade for that. I was reading all the stuff.
Carefully.
And Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D on Nintendo Switch will get the blah blah. There was nothing about that. So I have to hold out hope that will happen. That would be great. I would love that.
Because then you can have the entire.
Then I can have the whole
thing.
Then I can have the whole thing.
Was that you wanted the whole thing on a Switch 2?
Right. But you played this game. What did you think?
I thought it was great. Well, I mean, I played 3 HD 2D.
But you played this at the event.
I did. I did. This is
briefly, unfortunately.
We didn't have too much time.
Yeah.
They didn't give us too much time.
No.
But it does the same thing where the game looks like unbelievable. Like it's beautifully, rendered in HD 2D. The art style is great. There were some things about 1 that I didn't know about. Like you do not have a party.
There's one character.
One character.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's some things that I was like, oh, this is a different kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Than a typical Dragon Quest game,
Right.
Because it was the first one. So that's fine. And yeah, but I really loved it. I mean, it feels very similar to Dragon Quest 3. So if you like Dragon Quest 3, the HD 2D remake, you should play this. This is the Ehrlich trilogy. So they released this in the order you're supposed to play it in for a reason.
Right.
For story reasons.
Yes.
And the story is really, really good and very you know, it's like a very robust 3-part story, so it's good to play these in that order. Because 3 actually takes place before the events of 1 and 2.
Right.
When you get to 1 and 2, you're like the children of the main character from 3. So, but the game, yeah, beautiful, plays great.
We played it on PS5, right?
We did play on PS5, yeah.
Yeah, it looked amazing. But yeah, they were hinting, and I'd love to know more about the specifics of like, well, you know, these games, we're going to, you know, do some things to modernize them more. And it's like, I'd love to know a bit more about what that is. Because, yeah, it's like playing an RPG like this with one character.
It's kind of hard.
That's, you know, you rely on having a party to do things like heal or do magic, and whereas one character's got to do it all.
Right.
And Dragon Quest II is famously, like, well known as, like, one of the weaker Dragon Quest games, and there's a lot of just openness about how, like, they really had a hard time making it and didn't have a lot of time, and they kind of knew it was a subpar game when they put it out. So, again, like, they have not gone into a great deal of information on what they're doing to these games to make it feel more modern, but I'm very curious about that, but also very excited to play it.
Yeah, for sure. And they do have some of the similar quality of life stuff in this as they did in 3, where it's like you can speed up the game dialogue, the movement you can speed up, like a lot of those things that make it feel like it's moving a little bit more, you know, at a better pace.
Yeah, totally.
They have in these 2 games as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Let's wrap up with Doom: The Dark Ages, and I have to admit, I'm kind of losing steam on this game.
I haven't started because of your comments.
I still think you should play it and try it.
Okay.
But I just think
Fantasy Life got me instead.
There are some things about it that it kind of feels like a game that is trying to be a Doom game versus a game that is a Doom game.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Why would you say that?
Well, so one thing I'm noticing more I play, and it doesn't feel quite as fast as the other games, and that was the thing that has always been the hallmark, and especially of the 2016 game, was like when you're moving, you are jamming through. You're going so fast. Mm-hmm. And this one, I think it's probably due to this, you know, more kind of melee battling that you're doing, feels a little bit slower, like the movement of the character is not quite as fast.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in the settings, you can actually adjust the game speed. So I noticed this. I was like, oh, I'm just going to increase the game speed to give me that feel. So I increased it to like 1.5x or something. And I was like, oh, this is not, you shouldn't do this.
Okay.
It was just too much.
What about 1.2?
I think that's where I left it. It was like 1.1 or 1.2, something that was a bit more subtle, but still workable. But again, like I think what they have it tuned as is the proper game speed. But again, like I feel kind of bad with that being
the standard.
The standard. It's like it's a little slower. Whereas, like, I really like that speed and the kind of freneticness of all of that.
Okay.
I'm still bumping up against like the story and the setting of this game a lot. Like, I'm not really liking it all that much. And there's like these kind of like longish cutscenes. It's like I just don't care. Like,
do you skip it? You're
kind of caught in this conflict again with these two groups. Like you seem to be. There's like this thing on your costume that's like controlling you, or they can like subdue you somehow. It's like I don't know exactly how they have captured you, but I'm sure you're going to break free and take them out. But again, it's like very much that Mortal Kombat aesthetic and vibe that it like this kind of like deeper storytelling kind of falls apart because it all looks so silly and ridiculous.
It does, yeah.
And the guy's talking like this. Bring me the Doom Slayer.
It's just silly, you know? Like, come on. This is ridiculous. And then the other thing that I'm noticing more, the battles that I'm getting into, they are getting more frenetic and more crazy, and you're just surrounded by all these guys. So you have the shield. A lot of this game plays on using the shield.
Like shield bash.
Parrying with the shield as well. Because that's kind of how you make these enemies vulnerable, and then you can melee them, and then they'll either drop health or ammo or something. So you kind of have to do that. The timing of the melee, it's a little squishy. Like, it doesn't always feel like it's working like it should. The feedback that it's giving you is sometimes a little inconsistent with some of the attacks that the enemies are doing. So it's like, wait, I thought I did.
That's not good.
I thought, and it kind of looked like I did it right, but I took I don't. It's like,
See, that's not good for like a combat first. Like, you want that tight
Right, and again,
control
this
scheme.
could be a completely my problem, me doing it wrong, but the game is not giving me the right kind of feedback to feel like I know how to improve it. Because to me, I feel like I'm doing it right.
Uh-oh.
So,
That's pretty bad.
And that's just something that's become apparent as I've played it more, and the battles are getting hotter and heavier. So, we'll see what happens with me and Doom: The Dark Ages.
Okay, all right.
Love to see this game on a Switch too, though.
Well,
love to see that.
But if you don't want to play it...
I didn't say that. I said I was slowed down.
But Fantasy Life. For $2.59,
Moving on to the
you can
news.
Get Doom on the Switch too.
You were talking about the opening of the Universal theme park in Orlando, and they made a big to-do out of that, and Mr. Miyamoto was there. Wow.
Yes.
He did some interviews with IGN and the Washington Post where he had some interesting things to say. He had a lot to say about Pikmin. He always had a lot to say about Pikmin.
He loves them.
He talked about how with Pikmin, there is an unwritten rule that certain characters cannot interact with other universes of other characters. But with Pikmin, that rule just goes out the window. Maybe because he said so.
But Splatoon is in Mario Kart.
The Mario Kart kind of breaks this entire
and Smash
rule. Yeah, right. But in some other ways,
wait a second.
Pikmin can just show up. Here, I'll read it off. It starts 20 years ago when we did a presentation where it starts off with, there are Pikmin next to you. So I think that was an E3 press conference. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yes.
There's Pikmin everywhere. And so in Nintendo, there's sort of this unwritten rule. Mario needs to stay in the Mario universe, or Splatoon needs to stay in Splatoon, and we don't use different characters in the same place. But Pikmin has this kind of unwritten rule where they're okay to appear with other characters.
What are you trying to say here?
I'm just saying, like, he is pushing Pikmin.
Well, we know that.
Any which way. And he's talking about how he thinks Pikmin has this opportunity. He spent a lot of time with this interview about this theme park talking about Pikmin.
He loves the Pikmin.
He's still got the Pikmin on the brain. And I thought this was an interesting way, moving on from Pikmin, to talk about the Nintendo philosophy of game development, where... I'll just read his quote. I really see Nintendo as a sort of talent agency where we have within our roster a lot of talented characters. So we create a game with a certain gameplay concept, gameplay experience, and then we look at the roster and see who would best fit in this gameplay concept or experience.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way.
It's a good way of explaining it.
Of putting it.
It's a very good, because they're always gameplay concept experience first.
Right.
And they're like, okay, with this gameplay mechanic, what characters in the Nintendo universe would be a good fit for this?
Right, and that's kind of the story of Splatoon, where it's like, well, they tried plugging these different things in. It's like, no,
we gotta make our own.
None of these really feel right for what we are trying to do here.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. He talked about why Nintendo had been so unwilling to hand over its IP for outside gaming projects before. He said, our thinking was that we don't use characters in media other than games, so we're not limited or restricted when we create the next game. So basically, don't let them put your characters in a position that you have to react to, essentially.
Yeah.
And I guess now, he's so involved and Nintendo's so involved where,
that doesn't happen
They're
anymore.
like co-producing these Mario movies.
Right.
Well, anything that's happening, we're comfortable with because we're having a say in it. As well.
That's good. They
makes
should definitely keep that.
Versus, here you go, do whatever you want.
Your license is out to you and that's it, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways from the Universal opening or stuff you saw with him?
He's just so far removed from games now, it seems.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from before, and my takeaway now is that he's just doing his thing. He's doing the things that he wants to do, which is not in any way related to making the next game. It's really about like the brand and the characters and Pikmin and more of the stuff that he's interested in now versus like I'm gonna co-develop some game,
It's something we've been harping on for a few weeks now, but it's so interesting seeing all the stuff coming out of this park now using the old Donkey Kong design.
I know.
This Orlando park
immediately dated.
Has this giant Donkey Kong park that on day one
is dated.
Needs to get updated.
Did they not share the new design with them beforehand?
Who knows?
That seems so odd to me.
It sure is strange.
Did they not have it? They must have been developing this game for a while.
They probably had something or an idea or I don't know.
There was another quote that I saw, not related to Donkey Kong at all, but there's another quote that I saw from one of these interviews that he was doing, and someone asked him about Switch 2. And he was like, oh yeah, not really thinking about that. Pikmin though.
Yeah.
Thinking about that every day.
Park looks great though.
Park looks great.
Yes. The Elden Ring movie, which had been rumored for a long time, is real. Got a proper announcement by Bandai Namco. So it is going to be written and directed by Alex Garland. And
and it's A24 as well.
A24, Bandai Namco is going to be one of the producers. They have not said when it's coming out. Will be live action. We're truly excited to bring the world of Elden Ring to fans in a new form outside the game. We like Alex Garland. Alex Garland
is like top tier. But how's FromSoft involved? And
that was my first question.
How is George R. R. Martin involved?
So, let's see. It said there was another story, I think this was from Variety. So Garland recently wrote and directed Warfare Will Write, based on the mythological story by George R. R. Martin. Will be produced by Peter Rice alongside blah, blah, blah. And George R. R. Martin is one of the producers.
Okay.
As well.
Because he wrote the nonsense story.
He has more reasons to not write his book now.
Perfect. I've given up.
Just put it off. I'm busy. I can't do it. But yes, the question of what is FromSoft's involvement is a really great one, because that seems critically important.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe Bandai Namco is saying, well, we'll be the conduit as kind of the business owner.
Is Miyazaki going to be like the Miyamoto to the Mario movie?
This IP, but it's like they're so central to Elden Ring. Maybe let them cut the line and just be the direct conduit to Alex Garland.
Dangerous game
and the rest of this team. So that's something
dangerous
that gives me
game
pause.
Of telephone. Yeah.
As our resident Elden Ring mega fan, what does a movie adaptation of Elden Ring look like?
I mean, the world that they've created for this game is absolutely
visually amazing.
Amazing, spectacular. There's certainly a lot of lore.
Yeah.
I've watched over 40 hours of lore videos and still don't understand a single thing. I like them. I think they're interesting. I love watching those videos, even though I don't really get it. But there is a lot. There is a lot of story there. So if there is someone, maybe it's Alex Garland, that can take that really like all those layers of lore and turn it into something that does make sense and is consumable in the way of a movie that's maybe for, a more broad audience, I'm here for that because I don't get it, but I want to get it and I love it. I mean, literally I've watched like over 40 hours of lore videos on this game.
Yeah.
I love this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. So yes, I want this, but I also am curious to how they would like adapt this in a way that makes sense for like a movie, I
feel like the ideal movie of Elden Ring is not going to be a typical blockbuster. It's going to be very moody, very atmospheric, maybe a little slower paced than you might expect. And I think Alex Garland has a lot of movies that are like that.
Yeah.
If he was not involved, I would have a lot more concerns. And apparently he's a huge FromSoft fan and has worked with Bandai Namco before. He was one of the writers of Enslaved Journey to the West, which is one of the games that came out right after I left, which is a really underrated game that also had Andy Serkis very closely involved in it. Yeah. So that's all making me feel a lot better. Otherwise, I would be like kind of out on this, I think.
Yeah. Alex Garland is so gifted in visual storytelling. Like think about a movie like Ex Machina, which basically had like zero.
Never seen it.
Had like no dialogue in it, but the visuals were so amazing. Especially the hot robot lady.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it. Okay, but yeah, I think it would be like really cool to see him do that with the visuals of Elden Ring. They may have to just like pick like one character and follow that instead of like the whole cast of characters that they have as part of the story.
Anybody you would like to see them follow?
I would like to see them follow Melania and Mikola.
Okay.
The brother and sister. because I think that could be a really interesting story because it seems like everything kind of stems from him trying to save her and then his journey to like try to reverse her scarlet rot, like all that stuff. Like it seemed like it'd be a really interesting story.
Do you have any casting requests?
Oh, geez.
Playing Melania, playing Mikola.
Melania, you need
because these are very pasty, languid, lanky people, right?
You can do Radon needs to be in this movie.
Sure.
Who's Radon? Like
The Rock
or Jason
Vin
Momoa.
Diesel. Or Vin
Jason
Diesel.
Momoa is always
the three buff guys who get chosen for these roles. Yes.
Jason Momoa might not have the chops to do this.
Can Jack Black make an appearance in this?
Oh gosh.
Can he say something
Maybe
meme-worthy in
he can
this?
be a pot.
Can he say I am dog? I am dog.
I am dog.
Maybe he can do that.
He can do that. He'd be the pot. The pot.
Yeah.
The big pot.
Think of all the meme potential for this movie.
That's true.
There's a
Someone,
lot
let
of
me
meme-
solo her. Someone needs to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Meme
my
potential
gosh.
is
Wow.
high. Who is gonna be Torrent?
Oh, see, that's a CG.
Torrent is a CG. Okay. You can't put like antlers on a real horse,
Horns on a horse.
like a little headband with like horns on
No,
it.
don't
How
tell
cute.
PETA. Don't tell PETA. This was an interesting thing that happened recently. This fiasco around the Borderlands 4 price, which is really just an all-time self-own. Because the price of this game has not yet been announced. And they did the creator's voice, because this game's coming to Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
They did the creator's voice on this game. And somebody was tweeting at Randy Pitchford saying, this game better not be $80. And he responded and said,
Oh no.
A, it's not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage in an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. First things first, I used to vacation with my family in Pismo Beach.
Did you ever see
in
Randy?
the early 1990s.
Did you see him at the ice cream parlor?
Maybe he
served you a scoop.
Served me some ice cream. There's some lore for you.
What kind of ice cream were you
Wow.
getting as an 8-year-old?
I was into mint chip then, as you are now, but I've fallen out with mint chip.
So
but back then,
I have the brain of an 8-year-old.
probably.
Perfect.
So that's an interesting bit of
Randy,
lore
why?
between myself and Randy. So this is just he got a nasty gram for old Strauss Zelnick after this, because now everybody assumes that this is $80. No, who knows what the price is going to be? It hasn't been announced, but now everybody assumes because there was this big kerfuffle, like oh Borderlands 4 is $80. Forget that.
He was just trying to make a point about like you should. Well, let's hope that
Do whatever it takes
to get something that you love.
And then the other problem with this is like pointing out the real fan thing is like for a game like Borderlands, like you need more than the real fans to come out for this game. And now it's like, well only they'll make it happen. And well, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But like, this is not like some little niche game where it's like, oh, we've got our fans and that's it. It's like, no, Borderlands sells millions of copies for a lot of people who are probably way more casual than this. They are not the quote real fans that I think he's imagining here.
Never get into these arguments on Twitter. Just post the dog pictures.
Suck it up, buddy.
It's just like you're inviting conflict, you know?
So then he presumably got the nasty email from Strauss Zelnick in between lifting weights.
Strauss Zelnick is really scary. You'd like punch him. He's gonna get punched.
And then he said, in seriousness though, nobody likes being taken for granted. Well, I mean, he just said it. And it was not my intent. I'm humbled by the love and support everybody has shown the team as we push hard to get this amazing game in your hands. They're crushing it, and I can't wait for everyone to play what's going to be the best Borderlands ever, regardless of where the price lands. It's going to be worth it, and then some. Back to work for me.
For now.
Oh, man. Zip it.
No more Twitter for you.
Don't make Strauss come out to Pismo Beach and kick sand in your face.
Ouch. It's gonna hurt.
Don't make him do that.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh,
He's
my
very buff.
goodness. Let's wrap up with a bit of rumor corner here.
Uh-oh.
The rumors are starting. We're getting close to June.
Switch 3?
So the first rumor is that there will be, this is from PH Brazil. So again, these are all rumors, so take anything from here on with a grain of salt. Says the next Nintendo Direct will be on Switch 2's launch week or the week after.
Launch week?
Why would there be a Nintendo Direct on launch week? That's next week, by the way.
That's next week, yeah.
What do you make of this?
Oh man, launch week seems to be a little far-fetched, but who knows? They're weird, so they could be like, we gotta drum up as much hype as possible. For people, but they don't need to do that right now, so I don't think they should.
Yeah, that part of it made me raise
the week after, maybe.
Sure.
The week after is
very... Let's look at a calendar.
Look at a calendar.
So there's next week, which is has the 5th, and then Summer Game Fest, and then... So all those events are very condensed.
Yeah.
After the 8th, things kind of open up.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to do something the week of the 9th, I think you could.
You could. 11th or 12th, that seems good.
There's other stuff, you know, happening kind of for that window there, but you kind of have 3 weeks in June that would all be pretty okay.
I feel like
I think
something in June is likely.
Yeah.
For a direct.
Right, because they need to nail down
holiday stuff.
The rest of these release dates.
Metroid Prime 4.
They need to start getting the hype going on Metroid Prime.
And Donkey Kong.
And Donkey Kong is the next thing.
Yep.
And then they might want to sprinkle a couple other games onto the third party or otherwise.
Again, Microsoft, if they finish their little event on the 8th.
A light dusting of other things.
A light dusting of Phil.
But I think it's doing something the week of launch would be very strange and tricky because...
Yeah, I think that's tricky. They did do 2 directs, one after the other that one time.
I mean, you want your fans... That is the one thing that's always like, well, anything can happen after they did that.
Yeah, they're weird.
They've gone kooky on us.
Kooky, yeah.
But, think, so our June 5th, the thing comes out June 5th everywhere, but June 5th around the world here might be June 4th.
Right.
And you might have people who are in a line, like I camped out overnight in this other country, and wait, there was a Nintendo Direct. I didn't know because I was camped out outside of a big camera or something like that. It's like
they could do it on the 3rd.
You don't have a lot of time
on that Tuesday.
But why would you?
You wouldn't.
Why? Like people are so locked in on the details of this launch and excited for that. Like you don't need to. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but we shall see. But June, yes, we like the idea.
Something in June though does make sense.
Like
and the week after, that week of the 11th or whatever, the week of the 10th, seems like it'd be a good week.
And then our good friend Jeff Grubb has said PlayStation event in June. That's the entirety of what I can confirm. No specific dates. Not sure if it's a state of play or a big boy showcase, but I lean towards a state of play. That's it. Anything else people add is their own speculation.
I mean, June is announcement time. Like we've known this for years.
Last year they did their thing in late May, I believe. But they want to do announcements either now or in June as well. So I believe that. The gradation of state of play versus a showcase, I don't know. We've seen some state of plays be really good. We've seen some showcases be not so good. I don't think that really matters.
Yeah.
I think they probably need a better delineation of what the difference is.
Right.
Between those two.
But they might have some stuff to announce, so.
I sure hope they do.
Please
more than their one
stuff.
Game a year. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes. Wow.
I mean, we're all very excited for Ghost of Yote, but maybe there's there's more we can do.
A little bit of something else?
On a PlayStation.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go into questions from our Patreon community. We get these always from patreon.com/KitandKrysta. Let's start with a question from Baby Chris. With the Switch 2 mere weeks away and a slew of YouTube videos from all spectrums will come out, I wanted to ask, how does Nintendo feel on content creators making videos on their hardware being destroyed? From hydraulic presses or free falls from high places? Is this the corner of YouTube they are not aware of, or something they would not like to entertain? What are your thoughts on these videos for high-end or newly released hardware? There's, of course, Will It Blend?
Will It Blend.
That's another famous one.
So, funny aside but related story. Oh. When I was at the Nintendo SF store, I took a photo of me with Isabel, and there was a content creator in the background that was in the background of the photo that everyone pointed out. Was like, oh my gosh, this is such and such.
Yes.
And this content creator is a electronics destroyer content creator. Extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Millions of subs.
Wow.
Very popular.
And what does he do?
He smushes switches.
Smushes?
There was like a Switch light.
Sledgehammer?
Hammers. Lots of hammers.
Okay.
Hammering the Switch.
Is it always a Switch?
No, there are other electronics
things.
too, but I think his videos that did the best for him were Nintendo products.
Wow.
Like destroying a Switch OLED with a hammer was one of the videos, destroying a Switch Lite.
Right.
But that is how this person, this is the type of content this person's creating.
Okay.
Which I think is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm fascinated by these videos, but I mean,
yeah.
I don't think Nintendo likes it very much.
No, they definitely know. Yeah. We definitely saw these. We definitely had some like conversation about them. Obviously, they don't like it.
But you can do.
But there's also nothing
you
that they can do about it.
You bought the product.
And this is why they've been so controlling of everything up to this point. Where it's like,
right.
well, once we get past this point, people will do whatever with it.
Right.
So we will control the bejesus out of it until then.
Right.
Which is their prerogative.
Yeah.
I always feel kind of strange about those sorts of things because it's like, yeah, you can do this, but I guess that's part of the appeal of like, oh, look at this hot new thing that people want to do something with. I'm going to break it.
It's so expensive, and I want to break it.
Right. It's just like it's just kind of like it's so counterintuitive. You just have to see it. Like, wait,
it's kind of like the Mr. Beast type of content where it's very like, last this long and you'll get $200,000. It's very like, will this person actually do it? Like that kind of drama.
Yeah.
Of like, oh my gosh, he's actually gonna hammer this switch, this OLED.
Yeah.
Like it's like that kind of like. I think as humans, we kind of like that kind of stuff. It's very like rooted in this. It's like people are like, oh, I gotta look at what happened with this car accident. It's like I can't look away. I can't look away. I'm watching this reality TV. I can't look away. But it's like that kind of like
morbid
curiosity. Yeah, it's almost and it's a little bit like eating candy. There's no substance really.
Right.
But it's just fun to eat.
You just want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. So I get the appeal for sure.
Earl Grey is next. Hi, Kit and Krysta. Were you involved in the marketing of Professor Layton at all when Nintendo used to publish that series outside of Japan? I love those games and felt that the marketing was very unusual for the time. Based on the popularity of the series, I think it was successful in reaching players like me who had never realized a game could have a storyline as compelling as what you would find in a book. I have friends who played the puzzles with their parents and even heard of math teachers using the puzzles as daily brain teasers. Best and thanks for all your work. This is a question for you.
I worked on all these games on the DS and 3DS, and I loved them. It was one of my favorite things. I think I worked on every single one that came out during that era on DS and 3DS. I do have some, like, stories about these that maybe we can save.
Oh! Is it the wardrobe malfunction?
Yeah. Should I tell it now or no? No, don't tell it now. Maybe not now.
Well, what are you saving it for?
I don't know. Should I tell it now?
I think it's fun. Yeah.
Okay. So this is for which Professor Layton was
Who
this
knows?
for?
I don't know.
Not Curious Village.
It doesn't matter.
I think it's Unwound Future.
For this story, it truly does not matter.
And you're right. We used to do some really fun marketing for this game because we knew that it was like very different and we need to reach a different audience. We were oftentimes targeting people just like you who don't really play video games but wanted like story, wanted like this like, chill kind of puzzle type game. We knew it was a different audience. And so one of the marketing things we did for this game was we did this like tea party. And it was this like huge tea party that we hosted for like media and like I think there were bloggers at the time because there was no YouTube content creators back in those days. And as we do with all of our marketing events, one of the things that was sort of like a thing that you would do is take photos of the event and then you would do this thing called like a photo distribution to Getty Images and just press in general so that you're hoping that some media will pick up the photo and write an article about your event and then talk about the game. And I was leading this event with somebody else on our team. We had beautiful photos of people drinking tea, beautiful English tea service, and playing the game. And then the photos went out, and the next day I get a phone call that's like, oh my gosh, you have to pull this photo down immediately. There's a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? And we realized that there was this photo that we took of a woman who was wearing this tank top. And the photo was from like it's kind of a profile of her. And unfortunately, she was wearing a shirt that you could kind of like see into. And she was not wearing anything under the shirt. So you saw some stuff.
Professor!
Little Luke was covering his eyes in the corner and shaking. But you saw some stuff. We had a really funny name for this that I will say the second part of the word, but not the first part. It was blank gate. So instead of Watergate, think about the thing that you could see and fill in the blank.
Jeez.
Blank gate was like my legacy for a long time. Like they were like, Krysta, don't know not another.
How did this slip through? How did you not catch this?
Choice of words.
How did you not catch this?
I didn't see it. I honestly didn't see it. I really was like, I was like, this is a great photo. Just playing DS. Pink DS looks cute. The T. And that was the legacy from that Professor Layton event, was that we had a major issue. I had to pull all these photos down. I got a stern talking to. It was...
did you really get a talking to?
I did.
Oh.
I was in trouble. I got in trouble a lot. Anyways. Oh. Just like, be more careful next time. Kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, which, yes, should have been more careful. It was the person that used to put these like we would do a press release and it would end up on the employee.
Yes.
We call it the end site.
Yes.
The intranet.
The employees found this?
No, the person that was updating the site.
So it didn't get posted. They saw it first.
Well, it got sent to media, though.
Right.
I had to pull it down from the distribution service.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people saw it. I think if you like looked up photos of this event, maybe you'll see it. I don't know.
Eye contact.
I feel like we have...
Maintain eye contact.
I feel like we had pulled this down pretty fast.
Wow.
So not a lot of people saw it. But that was what happened.
I seem to remember also, unrelated to this, like a traveling phone booth.
Yep.
What was that all about?
We had an English-style phone booth that was going around the country.
Like
that
a
was
London
fun.
phone booth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that one. Yeah, we did tons of stuff.
What happened with the phone booth?
Someone was like, "Can we bring it back and put it in the office?" And I think we tried to do that.
But was it just like a visual, or was like somebody
you
getting
could
a
go
phone
in
call?
there and there was like stuff in that it was staff, like somebody was there to like hand you a flyer.
But they were dressed as Layton?
Yes. I also did a thing where
the big top hat.
Yeah, I think we took it to Faneuil Hall in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like an actor dressed as Layton.
Hope he didn't get punched. Jeez.
No, he's very dapper. Such a fun game. I loved all these games.
One of the Dorchester boys. This is up out of town.
Anyway.
Bam! Professor! All right, next question.
Oh,
I have not played ARMS because competitive games stress me out too much, but the characters in the world seem like they have a ton of personality and potential. Do you think we'll ever see another game in the ARMS setting? What sort of game do you think could work well, since the 3D fighting game approach didn't really take off? Again, you are our local ARMS expert, so please, sound off.
Legs. I do like ARMS. We talk a lot about ARMS, where it was kind of unfortunate that they never went too deep into like the lore and the characters of ARMS. We never got like the backstory behind why that pile of goo was a pile of goo. Like, wait, why are you like this? Are you some sort of like failed like flubber chemistry experiment?
I like that character.
Min Min is another one.
So strange, yeah.
I love Min Min. She's awesome, and I'm like, why are you? Can you tell me more about who you are? But we never learned that about ARMS, and I think that was one of the reasons why the game never took off, because no one was connected to the backstory of these characters, and they were all new characters. But yeah, I think that it would be great to... I'm not sure they'll do another ARMS. And also, Yabuki-san is very busy working on Mario Kart World now,
and
so...
games that actually sell.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to happen. And I feel like the game didn't take off, and so Nintendo's less incentivized to do anything in that same world. The game that I hope that they bring back is Pokken Tournament.
Yes.
Unrelated to
I agree.
ARMS, but in the same style as like a 3D fighting game. Like that would be so cool to
Super
have.
Machamp Tournament Edition? Yes.
Machamp
Please.
EX Tournament Edition, something like that. Yes. Machamp was a great character in Pokken Tournament. That would be cool.
It's
but
kind of surprising we haven't already gotten another
did
one
good.
of those.
Pokken did really good.
Especially since the state of Tekken these days, Harada's always out there on Twitter bemoaning
But the Waffle House.
Oh, this is, well, besides the Waffle House.
We can put it into Pokken Tournament.
I can't do Waffle House, or like, you guys want too much, or it's, oh.
No, he is putting Waffle House in.
It's so hard making a game these days. Well, just get this Pokemon going and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, yeah. I do agree that 3D fighting games, it's like hard to find one that's fun and good.
Yeah.
Like we played Soul Calibur recently. We're like, oh, this is fun.
Right.
That it's a 3D fighting game.
Yeah, they can get a big enough audience these days.
Yeah.
For what you want it to be.
Exactly. That's why you need the power of Pokemon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's oh my gosh.
There's so much potential.
There's so much they could do with,
online,
with a new
bring it back,
more characters.
More characters. Make it live service. Make it like like
man.
Pokemon Unite and have it be like events all the time.
They got it down. Yeah.
Should do that. Seems like it'd make a lot of money.
Oh man, they should.
Right? Seems like it'd make a lot of money.
They should really do that.
Yeah.
All right. Our last question is from Phantom Cookie. Hey, Krysta and Kit, one trend during the early Switch era, at least from my own perspective, as I must admit, it seemed to be mostly localized to games I've been most interested at the time, was Nintendo's biggest games having a couple of songs being the standout feature of their soundtrack, such as Jump Up Superstar and Break Free in Odyssey, and Lifelight in Smash. This was also around the time I got exposed to both Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, which had both traditionally done that also. Do you think this trend was intentionally planned by Nintendo, or was this just a coincidence? Do you think we should expect something similar with some of the early Switch 2 games, and which upcoming games would you most like to see feature these songs?
For sure, Jump Up Superstar was planned. I mean, it was very planned. It was very much like they wanted to create this very emotionally like celebratory moment in the part of the game where the song debuts. And then it became like the marquee, like it became like the background song.
It becomes the theme song of the game.
The theme song of the entire game, the entire campaign. Like this song has been stuck in my head for 10 years.
Right.
Or whatever, however long it's been since the game came out. And it definitely was a very intentional thing. So is Lifelight in Smash. Lifelight is very much like considered the theme song for Smash, and you know, Smash is one of those games where like it kind of borrows the identity from lots of other games. Like a lot of the music is like themes from that game, so you needed something that actually encompasses like the originality of Smash Ultimate, which is what that song became. So, whereas it's a little bit different for Fire Emblem and Xenoblade. I think those are more done so in like in a more traditional game soundtrack way, where they put a piece of music in as a storytelling device, like you know, like that song that plays during Chapter 5 of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's like moves you to tears. Like that song is more for the purpose of moving you to tears versus it becoming the theme song of that game.
Well, for whatever reason, this is all these examples are Japanese games, and I think it's something that works well in general, but what must work especially well in Japan, because I think it gives you just a lot of opportunities to promote a game.
Yeah.
Even like I think back to when I worked at Namco, did something similar to this on Tales of Vesperia with a singer named Bonnie Pink, who I got to meet. She came out to like an event that we did, and she's like a pretty big pop star in Japan. And it was like, oh yeah, I did the theme song for this, and it just gives you more like, oh, you know, you can say you have this. This artist can do these appearances, you can do a music video or something. It's like all these things that you could do to promote this game that you couldn't do before, and it just becomes this kind of unifying, rallying thing for fans to like get behind. Because you don't often have like a fully vocalized song in a lot of games.
That's true. Vocalization is very rare in games, I think. I did see that on the Japanese, for Japan, they have I think it's a pretty well-known like J-pop group promoting Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
They kind of look like, sort of like BTS, but Japanese. I'm not familiar with.
It had an interesting. It was like Iceman or something, or
it was like cold. Something with to do with. Can you look it
up? Stone Age, or
no? It's something. Yes, it's something to do with like the weather.
Keep talking. We're getting there.
And I feel like, are they gonna make them record like some original song for Mario Kart? Because that would be kind of fun. It would be really funny if they did that with that group, because they've been promoting them, so much with the Mario Kart games. Are you there yet?
Oh, here. No. Here we go. What's this called? Snowman.
Snowman. I was like, Iceman.
Why are they called Snowman?
Yeah.
Look at these nice boys.
They look so cute. But can Snowman, are they, what are their songs like? And can they record like a Mario Kart World theme song? Because that'd be kind of fun.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's something that works. It does work here, but I think in Japan it especially.
It so works. They always have something like this.
Yeah. They'll often do something like this. Yeah.
Wow, that's it.
All right. Thank you to everybody who sent in a question. Again, we're at patreon.com/KitandKrysta. If you're ever going to subscribe, now's the time to do it. Get in on this action.
Stuff is happening.
Me, as Big Al would say, give me what you got.
Oh. Again.
And guess what? We got a lot of stuff.
The person had a list of the things that we did in a single week, and it shocked me to my core. Because it's all the stuff that we do. Yeah, there's so much stuff that we do only on Patreon, like our spoiler casts and our gameplay videos on Mario Kart and all of the bonus Q&As and the behind the scenes. Wow! It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. We're also on the socials. We're at Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Threads.
Let me tell you about the March to 100K that we're on.
Oh, you're doing this now. Okay,
on YouTube. What?
Because usually I have to say.
What do you mean we're doing this? Usually I have to say, wow, that's some passive aggression.
95K.
Right there. Usually I have to do that.
Almost at 95K.
Yes.
Hopefully by the time
we're so close. And again, there's so many things happening.
Oh my gosh, get us
This
there.
is going to be an exciting milestone for us. So help us make it happen. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, leave us a comment. Thank you very much.
Yes,
we're also on audio. You can subscribe there, give the podcast a 5-star rating, leave a written review. All these things are great if you can do them. Yes. Helpful
to us. All right, well, let's shout out some of our wonderful, beautiful Patreon community members, starting with Final Boss, Aaron Hash.
We got Aaron Hash.
She's getting a Switch 2 at lunch.
Yes.
Exciting stuff.
Yes, he is. We're going to be doing some Mario Kart with Aaron Hash.
We definitely are. Okay, here come the superstars. Ben Eichhorn.
Myra Mayhem.
Eigenverse.
Kiss My Flapjack.
Mike Chin.
Ray Eshke.
Switching it up, _
VGM Life.
Link the Hero of Wins.
Angela Bycroft.
Thomas O'Rourke.
Kyle LaBeouf.
Roberto Nieves.
Frederick Ulf Conradson.
Andrew Uhas.
Chili.
Simon.
Crashuri.
Master Discord.
Ash.
Ajay Kunlas.
40 Gig.
Travis Torline.
Echo Ladare.
That's so Linnell.
MSM Poke Gamer.
Cameron.
R. Burns.
Aikami.
Kit 10K.
And Adrian.
Woo.
Wow. And the One Up Club. Aaron Burgundy.
Ale Alejandro.
Allie.
Andy Peachy.
Andy Robinson.
Angel A.
Aristu.
Astro Dev.
Awesome 46.
Axel.
Bad at Smash.
Barnstorm.
Bates.
Benji B.
Big and Gamer with a Y.
Brad SF56.
Brandon Kavapel.
Brent Dennison.
Brian Decker.
Brovak Novak.
Bruce Dash.
Bucky Flores.
Callsign Forte.
Cashew.
Chadir.
Chelly Squirrel.
Chris Fisher.
Crispy Saurus.
Christina.
Christopher Lay.
Colin Finnegan.
Cosmic Titan 718.
Captain Alex.
C Roper 17.
Dag DeLeo.
Dallas E.
Delving with Dachshund.
Delving with Different.
Debbie P.
Doinko.
Dre.
Eccentric Tony.
Elite Peach.
Espars 50.
Furbound.
Fernie and Just Forever.
Fox Deploy.
Gamers Like Anime.
Garf the Wolf.
Gartooth.
Gin Wolf.
Guilty Phoenix 42.
Handheld Gamer.
Happy Sloth.
I may have made a mistake.
Iris Marin.
It's your boy J Hove.
Jay Rando.
Jameson Eisenberg.
Jason Ball 34.
Joe Encarnacion.
Joel.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Justin Lemminger.
J Wolf.
Callan CPU 57.
Kawa 2796.
Kevin Delane.
Kevin Moreno.
Kilo Kibo.
Klefki to My Heart.
Christopia Party with Me.
KS 3261.
Kyle Gamer Barry Rookie.
Kyle 325.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyle R. Smith.
Lazy Cat for Coffee.
Leah Rao.
Lex.
Lightwood.
Link 9898.
Lil Mikey.
Linko.
Lit.
Lucas Pico.
Luke Hayabusa.
Luna B.
Lynn.
Macho Potato.
Mad Dog 5981.
Magnificent Easy G plus Callie Marie.
Mario Man 392.
Mark S.
Marky Man 64.
Maverick Nate.
Mecha Dragon 101.
Megan.
May plus Leon.
Michael Mazer.
Michael O'Hara.
Michael Wong.
Mikey.
Mr. Ryan 07.
Motomania.
Mr. Andy Pond.
Mr. Beans and Dip.
My Tran.
Nasir.
Naife.
Nipa Reeves.
Nimbendo 64.
Ninja 11.
Noah San.
Omega Index Card.
Pangy.
Paper Boat.
Patrice Millette.
Paul.
Paul Gill Network.
PokeDigiFan 20.
Prime Factor.
Prince Charmless.
Punky.
Rain Tech.
Reckless Thomas.
Rob M.
Rob O.
Romsky 113.
Rocks.
Rusty Shackelford.
Ryan Haas.
Ryanetta.
Sage Gamer.
Sebastiano Garase.
Sega.
Sharif Jackson.
Shinru.
Shiny Elizabeth.
Slowbro.
Schmiggles.
Nozzle.
Spacey Poo.
Spicy Munchkin.
Steel Citron.
Steven Johnson.
Stephen Rockoff.
Pseudo Priest.
Symbiote Spidey.
Tales of Link.
Tandem.
Tay 120 and 64.
Teal Fox 64.
The Kagers.
The Quiet One.
The Suro T.
The Shark Among Men.
The Schmidt One.
The T-Man.
Thomas Alvarez.
Three Rivers.
Titanium Soldier.
Torcheeks.
Totally Joe Ed.
Totamaru.
Jowie.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tusku.
Thailander 16.
Tyler Geis.
Vidgmictor.
Viridian.
VirtualBot.
WG Crizzy.
Wicked Davy.
Zachary S.
Zelgroth.
Zapatty.
Zero Link.
And Zroid.
Just think.
By
By this time next week.
We'll be in a line. Well, not quite yet, but we'll be getting ready to get in a line.
Yes.
Pick up a
Preparing
Switch 2.
to get in line. It's real.
Isn't that weird? Wow. Okay, we'll see you